Good evening, everybody. Hello, Brooklyn. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
Look at that good color you got from your tan, from your cruise, from your tan. We got two wickeds. Okay.
Hold on.
Hold on. I'll remove the other one. There we go. We're good.
I missed you guys. I missed all of you.
We missed you.
Happy to be back.
Well, you know what? Going off what Barbie just said, tonight's episode was like, last night's episode really was like filler. It wasn't like, I guess we needed one,
It wasn't a lot of meat.
Yeah, we needed one tame episode for like the season. Wicked, I have another one of you in the back. Look at you trying to monopolize the airwaves like Dick Clark.
Poor Wicked. She's got to get her internet together. She just moved.
Yeah, Wicked's having. Are you there? Nope, wrong Wicked. Look, she's. Well, you know what?
Poor Wicked.
Poor Wicked. Let me see.
She'll come back.
So, let me say hi, everybody, real quick, and then we'll talk about everything going on. All right. So, J Freak, hello. Wendy H, hello. Susie B, Barbie, Wendy H, Michelle, Cynthia, Michelle again, Addie, Wicked's back.
Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Sheila, Susie, Bella, Donnell, Chicken Cakes, Jojo, and Roxanne, and Barbara M. Okay, so we're going to be switching the time slot to this from 9 to 10. Hey, Patricia Wittesy, because Pump Rules is on right now, and pretty much everyone who's a Bravo fan is most likely watching
Pump Rules.
Rody Gal, hey, Cora. So from now on, until Pump Rules is over, we'll be doing these at 10 instead of 9. That way we can watch Pump Rules.
We'll be here for you guys just a little bit later.
Yeah, there's that. This I was planning on having a special guest tonight, but since this episode was filler, I didn't think it'd be good, so I'd rather wait.
But you will have one soon, guys.
I will. I'd rather have an episode that's more meatier.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I'm jealous because Brooklyn knows and I don't.
Oh, we'll tell you. We'll tell you later. It's a good one.
About it. Like you'll figure it out. And I'll tell you. Yeah, so there's that. Tomorrow night, Sister Wives, so that I up the ante, so you have to watch episodes 5, 6, 7, which you should have watched already. And then I'm adding 8 and 9 to it for Sister Wives tomorrow night. And then we're doing a giveaway for that. Whoever has, I can never.
Don't we have like YHU contest going on?
After. It's the oh my God, help me out. It's a contest, and you're going to win Mary LuLaRoe leggings. I just forget what the contest is.
I thought it was the oh hell, my phone's about ready to die. Hold on. I thought it was the designing the YHU.
No, that's the contest after that.
Okay.
It's the family crest. Thank you. See, where would I be without my people? It's the family crest. You have to do the.
Thank you, Isabella.
Yeah, thank you. You guys keep me. You hold me together. Yes, the family crest for the Browns, and then the week after that will be like the Yates U, whatever.
The Fighting Tampons.
Fighting Tampons. So that's, and then on Friday we have a very good interview. 90 Day Wise. Someone's breaking their silence.
Everybody's gonna want to tune in for that.
Yeah, so it's going to be an exciting week. And then I forget what else we have. Something else, and then blah, 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 and whatever. So we've been gone for a week, and I'm trying to catch up. So that's the schedule for right.
I can't say I was disappointed you were gone for a week because I don't have internet.
See?
There you go. Worked out perfect for Wicked.
Right? It worked out for you, too.
I was on the cruise. Wicked don't have internet. Worked out.
Vanderpump. I know, but everybody's gonna want to watch Vanderpump when it's not like I know I would. I don't watch Pump Rules.
You're right, Michelle.
I don't watch Pump Rules, but now I kind of feel like I have to because it's so.
Because the whole world is watching it, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, they're talking about it on CNN for Christ's sake. So
can you imagine a spread in the New York Post.
The thing is like, and again, like, there was an affair, but like, they're not even married,
They don't have kids. They're not married. And let me remind all of you, as we all know, this happens every day in real life.
Oh, yeah.
People are married for 30 years and the man or the woman cheat with his best friend or her best friend. It happens every day. But this is in the New York Post, a 3-page spread in the New York Post. Is that normal?
And if you watch Lisa Vanderpump on Watch What Happens Live last week, she's like, listen, she goes, they didn't murder anybody. Yeah, it's bad what happened. Yeah. Like, Tom Sandoval and Raquel had an affair behind Ariana's back for like, I guess like 7, 8, 9 months or something like that.
Listen, I hate to throw this out there, but I'm going to. Okay, ladies, right? We all know this. The way you get someone is the way you lose someone.
True.
Right.
And the way she got him is the way she lost him. That's
True.
it. That's
Where's my
it.
bell?
You better ring something for that one.
I rang my bell. I got it. I got my bell.
I mean, this is no shaka. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just think it's funny because everyone was like betting on Jackson Brittany to break up, and they're
going strong.
They're going strong. They're happy.
Yep.
It's like they're the only ones who are going to be still living in Valley Village.
Well, Andy asked Teresa.
It's just these, and not for nothing. Sandoval is 40 years old. These are not kids. It's the same reason I can't watch Jersey Shore. We're looking at middle-aged people here. Like, enough already. Enough.
Okay, although I am excited that Sammy's coming back. So I think I'm going to have to start watching it.
John.
Oh, come on. Sammy being back is worth a couple episodes of me watching it.
All right, let me know what happens.
Yeah.
You watch it, let me know what happens.
Well, we live in the house that Jersey Shore built. Like, we're here in Seaside. So
yes, you are. Yes, you are. You might see him.
But I'm gonna give it. I'll watch Sammy a couple episodes. Like, I love Jersey Shore when it was first on. We tried watching the Family Vacation, but like you said, like they're 40.
Who's breastfeeding? Who's making arts and crafts? Like, come on. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Glenda. So yeah, but I'll watch Sammy a couple episodes because it's weird. Obviously Ronnie's not on the show anymore, and Sammy's like, knock knock, I'm back.
Pauly D still has the blowout from 2004.
Yeah, that blowout's gotta go, man.
That looks like that could hurt a person.
I can't do it.
Like he could headbutt someone and knock him out.
I mean, with all the product he has in his hair already, I don't even know how he has hair anymore, to be honest with you.
And when people talk about Jersey Housewives making Italians look bad, that show makes Italians look bad.
Which we'll get to because at the end of this episode, or was it? Oh, it was on Watch What Happens Live. I didn't know that Danielle was on like True Life. I'm a Staten Island girl. I had no idea. She went to. Can somebody send me the clip of it on YouTube or something like that? I gotta watch it.
And she went to LA to try and make it big, and that's where she met her husband.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
So she met Nate in LA.
Yes.
Her Adonis. Yes. Good old Adonis.
Yes, Adonis. She met him in LA. I love some Nate.
Housewife husbands. Like I would, Nate, I would put like, I don't know, third.
I can't believe that you guys are not with me on this one. I am shocked.
That he's like an Adonis?
Okay, stop with the Adonis, but he's really cute. He's so good looking.
He's got a cute face, but
he does. He has like that soft, angelic, cute face. He really does.
Like his pecs are off a little bit to me.
Okay, I didn't look at the pecs, but I don't know.
Look at the pecs though. It's like.
Okay, Johnny, he's not Evan. Okay, we know that.
Well, no one can be Evan. All right.
Yeah, Evan is definitely a cutie.
But here, so let's pull up Nate. Hold on. Which Nate's a good-looking guy.
He really is.
I would rate Nate third on my list.
Okay.
After
so
Evan.
You're gonna go Gorga. Evan,
Gorga,
Nate.
I'm going Evan, Gorga, Nate.
That's what I said. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I would do Gorga
Cody picks
Evan.
Cody's Gorga, Evan, Nate.
Got
I
it.
mean, like there's Rosie O'Donnell. If you
No.
want. No. Okay.
No.
No shade.
No.
No shade. No, Paulie's
No.
good looking, but this picture is too Rosie O'Donnell for my liking. I'm sorry. All I see is
I am not-
Rosie O'Donnell's face.
I am not attracted to Paulie at all. That's just me.
He's
I'm
not
just
my
not-
cup of tea, but
He
he's
photographs well.
he's definitely better than what's Dolores's David. He's definitely
Yeah,
better
the
than
doctor.
David.
He is. But David was sweet. He was sweet, but he wasn't for
Yeah, I
Dolores.
mean, this is just good. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
yeah. Let's be real here. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Joe,
really good.
Good.
Yum.
Yeah, even Jackie was like, hey,
But look, okay, so here's
give me 20 minutes.
notice how he's not showing his pecs. I'm just saying.
What's he
All
holding?
right. I mean, does he need to?
No.
No.
A water. What's it called when you
Oh, the water pitcher?
No. What's it called? Is it a
The
water
sprinkler thing?
a flower water?
I don't know.
What is this called?
A flower pot. No.
No,
No.
it's a waterer.
A watering pot.
A watering pitcher. Is that?
Yeah.
What the frig are we
Can we
talking
get the
about
technical name?
here? What the hell is that called?
It's a. When you water the garden, you
Three
put it in a
special people. We don't know what it's called.
Wow.
What is happening right now? I'm a college graduate.
Me too. I have a master's degree.
My parents
What is it called?
A watering pot.
Yeah.
No.
A watering can, Susie Bella. Is that
Watering can.
watering can? Is that right?
That sounds right. Watering
A
can.
watering can. We'll go with that. I like watering
But
can.
it's not a
Clearly, none of
can.
us use it.
We have like a little thing of dirt in front of our yard. This is, he's all right, but like, I don't
I
know.
do like his personality, but I'm not.
I do
attracted to it at all.
too. A watering can. Yeah, that's right. A watering can. I like that. And then I guess if I had to pick a fourth,
Frank.
yeah, I'd pick Frank Catania fourth.
I have to tell you. So, in the last, I know he was in the hospital. I know he went through some stuff. In the last couple of episodes, Frank Catania has been looking super old to me. Like I see he had no shirt on one time. I think when he was doing the photos, and I'm looking at like his chest. Oh my God, it's gonna sound so bad. My dad is 61. Okay, I'm 40. My dad is 61. So he's like, what? He's out there with the Easter things, and he's got like the wrinkles under the pecs, and I'm like, oh. He just looks like an old guy now.
Well,
He
aged. He was also like a super big bodybuilder, and
yeah,
like all those chemicals, I'm sure that he put into his body.
Plus, if you don't
Yeah,
keep it, you lose it.
100%.
It starts to drop if you don't keep.
But his little 35-year-old girlfriend's cute.
She is
She
cute.
is
I like
She's
her.
real cute.
And
What's
she
her
can
name?
catch
Is it
a ball.
Tracy? Is her name Tracy?
I have no idea what her name is. I don't think anybody cares, so they don't even put it up. To be honest.
But look at, when you think about Housewives, look at Dolores having two men on the goddamn show. You get it, Dolores.
And look at Dolores's body. I mean, listen, when I say this to my clients, I say, oh my God, look at Dolores's figure. They're like, Phyllis, she was filleted like a fish. Yes. She's had the most work of anybody on the Housewives, but she doesn't look like she's had it. Some of them look like plastic. She looks fucking great. Sorry.
She does,
looks
yeah.
wonderful.
I love Dolores. Yeah.
Phenomenal. And I love her dad.
He's so cute. I love him.
So cute. He's adorable.
If Joe Gorga wasn't so short, I may have put him like as number one, but like, I gotta go with the height with Evan.
Okay, so I am like 5'3.5".
So you're Joe Gorga's height.
I told you I met him in Atlantic City, and he's short, John. He's short.
That's a deal breaker for me.
I'm gonna say he was like my height.
Really?
Yeah.
How tall is Melissa then?
And when he was walking towards me, the first thing I thought was, wow, he's short.
But yeah, I mean, he's a solid number two for me.
He's beautiful. He's beautiful.
And if Evan wasn't there, he'd be number one. But I can't.
Yeah.
Evan just. I mean, like.
I know.
That's just good shit right there.
I know.
So before I get all hot and bothered, while my husband's sitting next to me, Let's get into the show and talk about some housewives. So
oh wait, just so you know, I don't think you did your thing, your song,
what song?
your intro.
I didn't. I'm gonna do it now.
Oh, okay. Just checking up on you, keeping you on your toes.
That one on. He is. He's fabulous, and he's on the inside. Pull that one on.
Okay. Don't want no short man. Sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm thinking about short men too. My ex-boyfriend was a little shorter than me, and it bothered me a lot.
Listen, Italian men are not known to be
For height.
tall.
Yeah.
They're not. They're just
They're
not, you know? So I married a German. Works
Well,
for
I
me.
didn't marry an Italian either, to be honest with you.
There
Cody's
you
not
go.
Italian. Yeah, so
There you go. I married a white boy.
Maybe I need to find me a nice Italian boy.
There you go.
Cody looks Italian though, but he's not.
Let me ask you, Wicked, are there a lot of Italians in Kentucky?
No,
I didn't think so. I thought there was like 5.
probably, maybe 3. Because it's big German population. Because
Okay.
of Cincinnati, there's huge Oktoberfest and
But not Italians.
more German
Yeah.
heritage.
Well, even like when we met when we got married, then we moved down to Florida. You know, we were by where Cody's mom lived in Vero Beach area in Florida, and like I think I was the only Italian. Like when her mom,
Not anymore.
she's like, so you're one of them Italians. I'm like,
Not
okay.
Italian. Not Italian.
You know that's true, baby.
Meanwhile,
She's
fast
like,
forward.
you one of them real life Italians. I never met one before.
Tell her, I'm like, it's Italian, mom.
And that's
She's
how his
like-
mom talks. His
like,
mom is
I
very
love it.
country.
I love it.
Italian.
That's so cute.
She is
Fast
very,
forward
very
to
country. I'm not even making
2023
fun.
and it's all Italian.
That's exactly how she talks. She goes, "Oh, John, you're one of them Italians."
I love it.
Does she order Italian dressing?
No, but like she made the spaghetti. All right, so she was trying to impress me, poor thing. And she made spaghetti one night because I'm Italian, right? So all Italians eat spaghetti, which we do, but like, but like she broke the spaghetti into what, 4s?
No, she just broke it in half.
No.
It was half.
Cody's like, John, stop. Don't tell them she broke it in 4. Stop it now.
No, she broke it
Cut
in
the
half.
shit.
It was like the size of like the spaghetti you get like in like a Chef Boyardee like spaghetti.
Like the Lipton.
Yeah, like
noodle
that
thing.
size. But like she was such a sweetheart, and
Aw.
she made it for me, and but it was funny, like the whole table was sitting there, and like nope, everyone was like, and I was the only one that actually went up and got seconds, didn't I?
You did.
Out of respect.
Aw.
Yeah, my
She
sister-in-law
tried.
is Italian. Believe it or not.
One of them Italians? You got one of them
My
Italians?
sister-in-law. And like her grandmother like came over on the boat. So at Thanksgiving we do like ravioli. My brother makes
And
it.
how did they wind? I gotta ask you this. How did they wind up in Kentucky?
Right? Like did
I have no idea because my
Because it's really
brother
not. All
They
of my
actually
cousins
met
that live
at a
in
bar.
Italy- Okay. Well, all of my cousins that live in Italy,
there,
'cause
my
we
face.
go,
Oh,
they
get off
know
my
New
face.
York, they know Chicago, they know California. They don't know anything else in Canada. That's about
Yeah.
the 4 places they know besides Italy.
We need the coasts. Like, it's weird to see Italians like in like
Jersey, they know Jersey.
yeah.
yeah. But Tracy's a fantastic cook. She makes some good sauce.
There you go.
It's gravy.
Oh, gravy. Sorry.
It's gravy.
Yeah.
Gravy.
But my brother's really good because he makes like 2 types of ravioli, like hand cranks,
So you guys
the
could do
pasta
it.
and everything.
It's awesome.
Delicious.
What was I gonna say? I forgot now. It was funny, and then oh well. All right, so
Passed by.
I don't know. All right, so let's start. Let me find my notes.
Can I say that I think we need to have just like a Watch What Happens Live where all the Bravo stars who have had plastic surgery coming out of it their reactions because they are hysterical. Like Margaret, look, my arm's moving by itself. Margaret, you're
And
moving
she
your arm.
didn't even have plastic surgery. She had the surgery on her wrist, right?
Right. But like Lala,
but,
she was hysterical.
Margaret's had plastic surgery. I mean, she's been vocal about that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you know, and they all have. I think
Yeah.
every housewife have.
Except Melissa.
No, Melissa made fun of herself tonight. Because when they were at the batting cages, she's like, "No, I don't want to break one of my 17 nose jobs."
Melissa lied to Andy Cohen on the couch at that reunion. She lied and said it's the contour. It ain't no contour, bitch. That ain't no contour.
She also
okay?
later said it was like the worst kept secret in the world. Like everyone knew she was lying.
Own it. Just own it.
I thought she did tonight. I thought she did.
Yeah.
when
Yes,
said
she
it.
did. One whole decade later.
Well, you know, better late than never, right?
Exactly.
Okay, John, so far up that dogger behind.
All right. So, okay. So, before we get into this episode, since Brooklyn was absent last week because, you know, she was hoity-toity on a cruise, like, you know, drinking, like, you know, champagne twisties. What did you think of the luncheon at Jen Fessler's house? I say Jen Fessler.
I
Fessler's
am
house.
utterly obsessed with Fessler.
Me too.
I'm
love
obsessed
her.
with Fessler. She needs to be a freaking housewife.
She does.
She's the gift that keeps on giving.
I very rarely ever think that a friend of is funny enough or entertaining enough to be an actual housewife. This might be the first time I ever thought. Well, I did think it with Brandy, even though I don't like her, I did think it back in the day with Brandy Glanville, and I was right. But this is one of the first times I think that a friend needs to get promoted ASAP because she's right in there.
Brandy came in guns blazing, but like in a different way. Like
that's my
Brandy
point.
like,
she was meant for that shit, you know.
You know, Brandy telling Kim Richards that she was like doing meth in the bathroom. I'm like, it doesn't get better than that.
So
her
once you
crutches
saw that,
and her broken leg, and she's like, you know,
hopping along. So other than Brandy many moons ago, which of course we all knew she should be, this is the first time in years I think a friend of deserves that role because she is
100%.
funny.
They could dump Danielle and promote Fessler.
I don't think Danielle's going anywhere.
No, Danielle. Listen, Danielle is so far on the Teresa train. They need that.
Yeah.
Teresa will keep her. It's all locked in and sealed and done.
I'm surprised she can breathe.
They have to even out. They have to even it out. Like, you know, it's been Teresa and Jennifer against everybody else. And, you know, they needed Teresa's like, you know, probably like, listen, I need somebody else on my team here. No, you know, it's the Teresa show.
And
really.
to be honest, they make it seem like Danielle and Teresa were friends, but you notice when she met Teresa's kids, it was the first time she ever met them. They're not friends. She just knew that was a teammate and she could spar with her. You know what I mean?
Well, did you guys watch What Happens Live last night when Danielle was on?
I don't have cable, John.
Oh. Well, she was on, and like Andy asked her, like, you know, how are you related to Caroline? Because, like, you know, for the life of him, he couldn't figure it out. I still can't figure it out. And I tried to write it down, but it's still so convoluted. Okay, so Danielle's stepmom, no blood there, right? It's a second.
No blood. Okay, so far we got no DNA.
Danielle's stepmom was married to Caroline's brother-in-law. Like, I still can't figure it out.
Okay, but that's still considered family.
Second cousin twice removed. That doesn't count.
I mean, the stepmom is like, you know, there's no blood there, so you're not really related to Caroline.
Okay.
You're like,
okay, but hold on. You and I know, like, there are people in my family that are at every family party that I see at every single function.
Right.
And I don't know how we're related, but I know we are. And it's like my mother's brother's mother-in-law's sister.
Post
and
officer.
So we're not related, but
yeah, no, it's true. And then
You know?
Annie did say that Caroline Manzo did give Danielle a glowing recommendation for her to be on the show.
Oh, hey.
There you go.
So, there's
There you
that.
go.
So Danielle's not going anywhere.
I just don't think she's added anything yet other than Teresa's lapdog. But
Well,
it's
going
early.
back to that, so just so I could say,
So let's go back
I
to
love
Jen
Fessler.
Jen Fessler's lunch.
Love her lunch, love a little house. I love that she's a friend of, but she goes right in there and she's the voice of reason with a twist. She's got
Very
some
much so.
attitude. She's educated. She thinks before she speaks, and she is so close with Margaret, but she sits her down and tells her, act like a lady. You're out of
Yes.
line.
Wait.
I like her.
When did Fessler say that to Margaret?
Not those words, John, but she sat down with her. in this
Not those,
episode.
yeah, like that was a bit of a leap of faith. You took with that statement.
John, she said to her, "That's not how you act. That was horrible behavior." She said all those things at that
But then
table in
she
the
kicked Jen
backyard.
out. She kicked
Of course,
Jen
she
out.
kicked Jen out. She had to make a point. Of course, she did. Hello.
But that was
But
incredible.
when
Like, you need to leave.
That's how we do. In front of everybody, you defend your friend. But then you go to your friend's house and say, what the frig did you do? You don't act like that. You're a classy chick. You're wrong. Don't say those things. And she did that.
You know, it kind of bothers me a little bit. Not bothers me, but like I think, Jen Fessler and Siggy were like, best friends, right? Like that's how like they all met. Jen Fessler was through Siggy. And like I just wish like the stuff with Siggy didn't go so south, because if Siggy didn't go so like haywire, like
John, I'm gonna tell you right now, I love Siggy.
Like season 7 Siggy, like when Siggy was like fun, like season 7 Siggy with Jen Fessler. Imagine how much more fun the show would be with those.
Oh
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fessler
I do love Siggy. I follow her. I love her.
Oh, I like Siggy too. I would love to have seen that dynamic with Siggy and Jen and the rest of the girls together. I thought, but Siggy's doing good. She's very political now, and so good luck to Siggy. I wish
so you had asked me about my opinion about that fight, right? So I loved it naturally because that's what I do. But I have to say, usually Jen is like, I don't like her. She is pretty quick with her tongue. She usually gives zings. She sucked in that fight. Margaret owned her in that
because
fight. She owned her.
And Jen saying like, it's, I say when, I say how, I say who, I say
not
why.
a goddamn thing, because in your house, you are a concubine, okay? In your house, you're an employee. So maybe when you're around your friends, you want to dictate how things go, because when you're with your husband, he's the boss.
And the truth is that Aydin has been calling everybody to try to get them to turn on Margaret. And like, Teresa's like, Teresa's
pulling those strings.
Yeah.
It's like the Danielle hair pull.
It's exactly the same thing. Exactly. Danielle.
And I will say, Melissa called it, because you guys know that I'm not on the Melissa train, but she said it best in this episode. She said, listen, I don't care if Teresa made up with Margaret. I know her. She hates Margaret. She hates her brother, and she can't stand me. And she's 100% right.
She hates. What did she say? She
can't stand
Teresa
Margaret.
Hates Margaret. Margaret hates her Louis Buddha. It was like the funniest fucking thing. Like Melissa was like gold.
Yep.
So all right. So I just wanted your thoughts on that fight. And what did you think? You have small children. Brooke. What about that birthday party?
I know what you're gonna say, the therapist part.
Well, talk on the therapist part. Go ahead.
So that is what I really want. A couple of things I wanted to bring up tonight.
Wait, not this week's. I'm just saying, like, what did you think of like Danielle's Valentina's birthday party in Staten Island? What did you think of that?
Okay, so listen, guys. I'm going to be completely honest. I know it was over the top. It was over the top even for me. Okay. But if I have a 15-year-old and I have a 9-year-old. And if I show you my daughter's communion pictures last year, a lot of you would say, what was it, her wedding? I mean, I'll be honest. We had 150 people. You know, I had like 7 choice entree. We had like the balloon, the backdrop, the DJ. It was over the top. And I'm going to be honest.
Communion. I mean, that is a big event.
My communion was in my backyard, and we were serving hot dogs. And
I know. See, that's why I didn't know if I should say this or not. But you know, let's put it this way. I think probably, and I break my ass. My husband and I are hard workers. We're not rich, but I could probably say that what I spent on my daughter's communion, somebody would probably spend on a small wedding, or a medium wedding. So I will say I do get it. This is how we do things in New York and New Jersey. You know, when I go out of state and I go to weddings. No, I'm not done. I'm not done. When I go out of state and I go to weddings, I think like, oh my God, we overdo things. Now, with all that being said,
wait, no, to your credit, like, okay, with the wedding
was
stuff,
insane.
With the wedding stuff, I completely agree because, like, I've been to like, you know, weddings that were not in New York, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And I'm like,
this?
Where's the fucking food?
Yeah, like I have to,
like we got to go to McDonald's when we get out of here.
New Yorkers and New
they bring out a crudité dish, and that's the end of it.
The best weddings, and like even like when my own wedding, like I was very mindful of that, like because I went to a Florida wedding and it was like McDonald's catered it. Like I don't, there was like no Venetian hour, there was no cocktail hour, there was like no, it was just like, yeah. So the wedding stuff, yes, I agree.
And so let me just say this. That party was for the show because they were filming. And I'm going to break it down real quick. I'm not going to make it long. I really watched that party because I do a lot of parties. Okay. So I really watched it. And I know that place she had it because I was there 2 years ago for a party during COVID for a communion.
What, Russo's on the Bay?
No. Where she had the party.
I know.
So,
Russo's on the Bay is like where like all like the guineas go to get married or whatever in Howard Beach.
Right. But I will say she had a lot of balloons, which I'm sure she told them we're filming, so they gave her either at cost or a great deal. She really didn't have a lot of people at that party, and she had like regular trays of food. So even though it looks like she had like a $50,000 party, guys, I guarantee you she had that whole party for like maybe $7,000. Even though I know that's a lot for a birthday party, guys, I get it, but it just looked like more than it was.
In the grand scheme of housewives parties, $7,000 to me, like, listen, that's not even that much, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's a drop in the bucket.
Right. That's my point. I've been to that place. I know how much they charge a person. If you looked in the room, she only had like 50 people. I'm telling you, it looked like more than it was. Trust me on that one.
Remember when Taylor had like, this is like season 2.
Right.
Like,
oh, yeah. Yes. What was it, like 15K?
For like her 4-year-olds or at that time, like Susie B knows Russo's.
And
that was insane. Like, I have a problem. I think, I don't have children, so maybe it's different, probably, because I don't have them. But I just can't see spending like $50,000 on a 3-year-old's birthday party.
Trust me when I tell you guys, for the record, she didn't. It looks like she did. And if she wasn't filming, I'm sure it would have been a big party, but nothing like that.
And Danielle's house is like a normal Jersey, Long Island house. It's like a colonial.
Well, it's like, a lot nicer than my Long Island house. I don't know about that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, she has a beautiful home, but it's not like
extravagant.
Right.
It is. Right. It's cookie cutter. It's like, to her area, like, Bergen County. Yeah. But still, it's not like, and that's why Danielle says,
you're looking at like maybe like when they bought it, they paid like $700,000 and turned it into $1 million home, but it's not a $5 million home.
That home is not a $5 million home at all.
No, Danielle? That's what I'm saying. No, it's not.
She's lucky if that would clear $1 million, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
But also if you guys, to understand the real estate here where we live in New York and New Jersey, like my best friend just sold her a cape, a 2-bedroom cape, right? Like, nothing fancy, like, a 2-bedroom. And if you know what a cape house is, like $700,000 for a 2-bedroom cape, where that same money would have bought you a fortress somewhere else.
Welcome to Long Island.
Yeah, in Franklin Square. In Franklin Square, 2-bedroom cape, $700,000. And Franklin Square, is not a bougie. That's where I'm from. It's where I grew up. Not a bougie town at all. We're like, middle class all the way. So
what would that house sell for if it were like in Miami or Chicago? So it's all relative.
Right. But like I said, with the party, I think it was for show. I think it was because she was on a show. It was the first event she was throwing besides like a barbecue, being on the Housewives of New Jersey. She wasn't going to have a regular little birthday party. Let's be real.
Yeah, and you're right. Like she probably had to make it bigger because like, hey, like
of
come to me.
Course.
Imagine inviting Teresa, over.
Because I didn't see a lot of children there. There were more adults than I thought than there were children. I only saw like 10 kids.
Yeah,
I don't not like Danielle. I'm like the jury's still out with Danielle with me.
Yeah, I'm like this. I'm like this with Danielle. I'm not
like
here.
The jury's
I'm
out.
not here. I'm right here.
But I have prediction that she's gonna turn total bitch against, she's gonna be like a tree hugger, right?
Yeah.
And
oh, she's very easily influenced. Oh, I make sure I listen to what all my friends say. Yeah, she doesn't have her own mind.
I'm still in shock about.
Oh, Wendy, I can tell you, Wendy. I can tell you some things.
Hold on. I have my graphic. Hold on. Wait.
Oh, that's right. New graphics.
Thank you, Wendy.
Never. Sorry. Usually I have Maria doing this for me. I'm on my own on this one here. Go ahead. What were you saying, Brooklyn?
No, I agree with Wendy. I have some things to tell you. If you think that's crazy, oh boy, welcome to Long Island.
I mean, like, there's a reason why I don't live on Long Island anymore. Like, I mean, that's my home. And, like, I would love to be back on the island. But, like, it's just Long Island, like, spit me out and chew me.
I'll give you guys a little.
Chew me out.
That don't live around here. I'll give you a little perspective. My property from my house is 60 by 100. It's a regular 4-bedroom home, 2-bathroom, 4 bedrooms, 60 by 100, 60 feet by 100 feet. My property taxes alone are almost $17,000 a year.
Long Island.
Oh my, yeah. Insane. Oh wow.
It's like we were just there for the funeral over the weekend, and I was like, just being in traffic again for the first time in a long time. I'm like, oh God.
That's right.
We were on the southern state. And I was like, this motherfucking parkway. I don't miss this shit at all.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, every Long Island is just.
It's hard.
So let me put it into perspective for you. The house that we just sold was on like 2.5 acres, say, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Our property taxes with insurance was about $3,500 a year.
That's insane. That's insane.
But yeah,
this is why my husband and I work like 6 days a week. It just is what it is. But it's and like Danielle's house, even though it's not a mansion, it's still definitely worth $1.5 million, I think, because of where it is and because of it's not normal here. It's just not. It's not normal.
Yeah. So. Wow.
But I know the party was crazy. I'm not justifying it, but I do understand it. And I think that it looked like more than it was. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, because there were 10 kids there? Like she invited Teresa and Louie. They didn't even bring any children. Olivia was 9. Olivia's very, she's wise beyond her years. She's very mature.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, which I think is a little sad.
I was gonna bring that up earlier, when John asked me my opinion, because I have to tell you, hearing Olivia talk to was it Rachel or Danielle when she said she wanted to be a therapist?
It was Rachel.
Yeah. So hearing her say that as a mother, it was like a red flag waving in my face.
Yeah,
you have a 9-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid wants to be a love therapist out of nowhere. I hope her mother really took that shit in.
I think she did. I don't want to like defend Jennifer because I can't fucking stand her.
I know.
Can anybody stand Jennifer? Does anybody think Jennifer is a good like?
If they did like her, they don't this season. Let's put it that way.
And I had moments like the last few seasons with Jennifer, like, you know, when she was like going like through like things with like her parents and like her brother and like her trying to talk to her mom about like her brother. Like there were moments like when Jennifer, like I was like, oh, like you're not like an awful, crazy, hateful person. But this season, like Jennifer, like thinks she's like Lisa Rinna. Like, she's the Rinna of like New Jersey. Like
look how that wound up for Rinna.
Right. Yeah. And girly, you are not Lisa Rinna.
Yeah, she's trying very hard to be extra.
Well, every time Teresa's there and she gets into a fight, she's like, right, Teresa? What do you think, Teresa? Right, Teresa? Girl, stop.
Wait. Thank you, J Freak. I love you. Hold on. Wait, where's my graphic?
Thank you, J Freak.
I'm so bad at this. Hold on.
Teeny, tiny shot.
Nope, that's wrong. Hold on. Hold on, let me get the right one. Thank you, J Freak. Lord, have we talked about the show yet?
Yeah.
We're 42 minutes in. No, we're not going in order though. We're just jumping.
What do you mean? I'm talking about. I don't know what you're doing. I'm talking
about property taxes and stuff like that. All right, so Jersey. Okay, so Margaret, right? She had her wrist surgery. She's doing better. Good for her. And like I had my arm was broken. I had to have like a plate in my arm, and you know they had to kind of re-break my arm too when they did it. So yeah, it's painful.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let's see. Then we see Trey with her therapist. Okay, let's talk about this therapist because this woman died.
Let's talk about
this therapist.
Let's do that.
Because this woman died 3 years ago and nobody told her.
Oh my God. Of all the freaking therapists in all of the state of New Jersey, where did she find this one off the floor?
Who is this woman?
Like, could you have found someone born in the 21st century?
Like, you're Teresa fucking Giudice. Like, where did you get this therapist from?
All the money they have, all the therapists in the freaking state of Jersey. And the camera goes to this woman, and I go, what the actual fuck?
I felt like she was like a reanimated corpse. Like there was like somebody like pulling the strings to make her mouth like open up and down. Like where did this woman come from?
Strange.
Maybe she was the only one who was trying to release.
You know when you have those moments when you yell at the TV because they say something? Yeah, the crypt. Yeah, in a wig, 100%. You know when you have those moments, right? When you want to yell at the TV? How about freaking Teresa saying, you know, I'm scared of my brother. In her new low namaste voice, you know, I'm scared of my brother. You know, he's dangerous. You know,
I mean, that's an insult to the crypt keeper in Tales from the Crypt. That woman was so old. She witnessed like Lincoln's assassination. She was like at like, you know,
like she was at the inauguration of Lincoln.
The hair, the frizz, what? Like, what's happening right now?
You might have signed like the Declaration of Independence. I don't know, but like that's how long this woman has been around. She couldn't even like blink her eyes. Okay, Teresa.
I
Sure.
feel like Louis, like, encouraging her to go to therapy, whatever. I think it's very controlling on his behalf.
Well,
I
he's her
really,
manager now. So listen, I mean, that's another weird thing. But guys, did you hear what I said though? When she sat on that couch and she told the therapist, like, my brother has a bad temper, and
funny,
my
Wendy.
brother,
No.
and I get scared of him. He gets crazy. You fucking flipped a table. You throw glasses. You shard glass. Like, what are you talking about? You're
Yeah.
scared of your brother. You
You've
are
lost more
exactly
your chips
alike.
more in the last 10 years than your brother pounding one table.
I'm
You are
pretty sure the therapist
exactly
witnessed.
alike.
I'm pretty sure like that therapist witnessed like Pontius Judas like selling Jesus out for some silver. Like she was probably
She
the one
was
like,
there.
oh,
She saw him walk on water. She saw it all.
I
She
looked
came
at
over on the ark.
when he looked at me, I go, is this woman even alive or is it a
And I thought to
reanimated
myself,
corpse?
she's on a TV show. She signed an NDA. Could they give her a little like frizz bomb for her hair?
Maybe a little blowout.
Seriously.
I know a girl.
But
I would
good
have
for
hooked her up.
Teresa, right? Good for Teresa being in therapy with like someone that time forgot about and
It's all for show, John.
He wasn't very helpful.
Show.
I mean,
It's all for show, Wicked.
Oh, I know, but
all for the Louis trying to make her have a softer appearance so that she, like at the reunion when he whispered in her ear, "You're not doing this right." He does that to her. I can guarantee you every day.
But I
100%.
think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. No, I think it's a good. No, listen,
I
someone
disagree.
needed to change Teresa, and if it's Louis doing it, maybe I think it's a good thing that Louis told her to get into therapy, and what with this woman, I don't know who the fuck she is.
John,
pretty sure she was buried next to my grandmother at St. Charles when I just went to go visit her. But whatever, the fact that Teresa's talking to somebody who, and she's like, but she didn't even know like who they were. Like she's like, obviously there are camera people there taping it while she's in like the therapy session, and the therapist is like, huh? Yeah,
Well, she TV,
maybe they should have called the guy from Atlanta, Dr. Ken. Like he's everyone's therapist in Atlanta.
My cat Georgie would have been a better therapist than that whatever that was.
I just don't think it's good. I had a cousin who she was like in her late 40s and she got remarried to this guy, and she loved drinking wine. She loved smoking cigarettes. She was a very loud, outgoing, fun person. She loved dancing, going out. He didn't like her drinking. He didn't like her smoking, and he wanted to stay home all the time. And she did. She slowly conformed to a calmer homebody. And what do you think happened? They wound up divorced in a miserable, miserable divorce, because you cannot really change who you are. You can change for a time period, but you're always going to go back to who you are.
Well, my aunt
and that's
always
not
said
who
this
Teresa
to me.
is.
My aunt Jeanette always said this to me, and it's so true. Like a leopard doesn't change their spots.
That's right, baby. And when you say, is it good? It's really not. Because he's trying to make her Louis 2.0. That's not who she is. And she didn't get to this place on Housewives for being a namaste.
Right. Obviously.
She was more namaste when she got out of prison than she is now.
Well, listen, when they get out of prison is hugging a Bible. You know what I mean? You spend 3 days in prison, you come out, you're hugging a Bible,
Exactly. You found Jesus, you're hugging the Bible.
It's not. I just don't like that she sat there, even though I see her more than I ever did. I see her point more than I ever did, and you guys know that. But she sat there, my brother is so scary. It's dangerous. I'm like, Teresa, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, for the last 15 years, I've been watching you. You're a psycho. Now you're going to tell her your brother's crazy?
Well, you said Louis her manager, right?
That's what I saw on TikTok the last couple
Allegedly,
days.
right? All right, we'll say that. But wouldn't that make sense if Louis really is the manager and he wants Teresa to have a softer look because Teresa's fucking Teresa, and we all know who Teresa is. Wouldn't it behoove Teresa to listen to him saying like, no, you have to be like, you can't be this person because I have a feeling Teresa was very close to getting X.
I think Teresa's listening to him, but we're gonna see that the real Teresa still comes out. Listen, guys, I would bet $100 bill right now that the reason she invited Margaret over that day and said I'm sorry to her was because Louis told her to.
Of course,
have them over.
That's not even a bet.
Okay, so, but Melissa knows. See, again, Melissa knows her 25 years. She knows the real Teresa. So she says, guys, the bullshit apology, that's all it is. She fucking hates Margaret, and she always will. That Louis could soften her ass with butter every fucking night. Sorry, guys. She's always going to be Teresa. Like, at the party.
We send super chats because of Brooklyn's mouth. Usually it's me cursing, but
I'm sorry, guys. I don't usually curse this much.
I'm just fucking with you. No, it's fine. I don't care. Like, listen, we're New Yorkers and we're New Jersey.
I'm sorry.
And this is how we speak. So whatever.
But I mean, it's true though, right? I mean, think about it. Like, then when she's at the party at Nicole's, Danielle's daughter's party, that Teresa comes out at the bar, or not at the party. I'm sorry. When Margaret says to her, wherever they were, Margaret says in this episode, that's what you said. You said to keep your enemies close. She's like, yeah, yeah, that's what you did. Like, in other words, the real Teresa came out for a second. You know what I mean?
Because the real Teresa was never gone. Like that's
right. That's right.
What is when you put lipstick on a pig, what happens? You're still a pig.
Still a pig.
Still a pig. Wasn't that Caroline Manzo saying like,
That's right.
You can put lipstick on a pig, but at the end of the day,
you're still a pig.
Still a pig.
You're still a pig. So all right. So moving on from the Tales of the Crypt therapist that she had, like hopefully she's still alive. I don't know. I don't. That woman looks like she's on borrowed fucking time to me.
Seriously.
Seriously.
No doubt.
So then the next scene we have Fessler going to Margaret's, and they're talking about the baseball game and how Fessler doesn't want to play, and Margaret's like, "Don't worry about it. Aydin, fell on her face last season. We have to go to the game. You want to go to the game this year?
Yeah,
we're going.
I was born in that hospital. I want to support it.
You were born in Coney Island Hospital?
No, Maimonides.
Is that Coney Island Hospital? Is that the one on Ocean Parkway in Brooklyn?
I don't know if you just heard what I said because you froze, but they do. She's doing that for Maimonides Hospital.
I thought that was Coney Island Hospital. Is that the same thing now? I haven't looked at Brooklyn.
No, there's Methodist, Maimonides, and Coney Island, 3 different hospitals. But she's doing that fundraiser to raise money for Maimonides, and that's where I was born. So I definitely want to support that hospital.
We're going this year. It's usually in I think June.
Okay.
It's around Memorial Day, so that would be like what? I'll book a flight.
Memorial Day? That's amazing.
Come on.
Can I stay at Shea Yates?
We're going. We're going this year.
Stay wherever you want.
And I want the jersey with Yates on the back of it too.
I love it.
I have to call it a favor on that one. So all right, so there we go. So now we're at Jen Aydin's house, and look, the kids are cleaning. You know why? You know why the kids are cleaning? I'll tell you why.
Because they're getting paid.
Because the camera's on.
That A, yes. B, yes. And don't you remember back a year or 2 years ago, Jen Aydin could not keep a maid? That was the story.
That's right. She needed a maid and a nanny. She's a.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's that. That's why the kids, and I'm sure it's Jen saying no, kids vacuum for 5 seconds on the camera, so it seems like you're you're not 100% spoiled and rotten.
Well, I mean, Bill wants them to start doing something so that they develop some type of life skill other than "Mommy, can I?"
With with the Swiffer for 3 seconds.
I actually have a question about that. I'm interested to know what everybody in the chat and you guys think about this question. So how many of you believe, like I do, that even though there was infidelity, and of course that brings issues, but she got over that shit years ago. Let's be real. I mean, she knew about it and she's been fine all these years. The kids know, so now they have to work through that, which I get. But how many of you believe that they don't have marital problems and this is all for filming?
Of course they had marital problems.
Not like this. I don't believe that.
I don't know. I kind of believe, Margaret knows what's going on. And 2 or 3 seasons back, she goes, that's why your husband's sleeping in the pool house. And this is before, the whole affair ever came out.
And then it was mentioned in this episode later that Jennifer says, well, when he gets home, he goes straight to the pool house.
Right.
So here's why I say this. I don't know if you guys know a lot of Turkish people, but I do know a lot of Turkish people. They're amongst the best people in the world. But I will tell you something. They are extremely private. What Jen did about this affair, how it happened, and she found out and she kept it a secret, to us, that's not common because you want to tell your mom, your sister, right? Your friends. In the Turkish community, that is common. So that is how they are. For her on national TV, they could be killing each other every single night and you would never, ever know it. So for her to go on a national TV show that's extremely popular in this country and let the whole world know that her marriage is shit right now, I don't believe it. I believe that they're never going anywhere, and I believe that she's making the marital problems her storyline. She
has no storyline.
Right.
She has no storyline.
That's why.
But what was Jennifer's storyline ever? What was her storyline? Tell me.
She needed a nanny.
You just said
Other than being Teresa's bitch.
You just said
she needed a nanny.
She always made fun of Melissa for not having a storyline, and over the years she hasn't had one. So now she's going to go into a season where she's against everyone. She knows I better have a storyline.
I don't think Bill would. I think there are issues because I don't think Bill, from a professional standpoint, would put that out there. And
his wife wanted to.
Unfortunately, my girl Margaret, who watching this episode, makes me realize how much in common with Margaret I am. We are really cut from the same cloth.
I love Margaret.
I think it's like our Aries blood that burns the same way, because us Aries are crazy, and with me, when you add being Italian on top of it, it's just like you get me. But if Margaret didn't say that last year about the affair, and I'm kind of not that I'm dogging Margaret for it, but if Margaret didn't give that storyline on a silver platter for Jennifer,
this
right?
Would never be happening right now.
Right. And where would Jennifer be now? Would she even still be a housewife?
So Jennifer sat down with her husband and said, number one, we have to clean
on
up.
Camera now, fuckers.
Number one, we have to clean up. That's what happened. So we have to go to therapy. We have to do all that on camera to clean up the affair issue. Hold
on. I didn't even see that. I don't get those notifications. Oh my God. Thank you, Danielle.
Danielle.
Wow. Because I on StreamYard, you don't see the stuff that you see on YouTube. So I always have. Oh my God. Where's my little thank you? Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
That was very sweet. Who got the memberships? All right, we'll get to it. Welcome new members, and thank you, Danielle. Where are we?
You're talking about. She was saying that she feels like Jennifer went to Bill and said, "Okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to portray it." I don't believe it. because I don't think Bill would jeopardize his professional image.
And you could see Bill, like, Jennifer's always saying to him, like, you need to support me. You need to, even when I'm wrong. And like, I get Jennifer saying, listen, like, I get you wanting your spouse to defend you, whether you're right or wrong, because at the end of the day, whether you're right or wrong, your spouse should always defend. That's how I feel. Right. Brooklyn, your thoughts?
But here's the thing, Wicked. I get what you're saying, but his professional image was in the gutter because of the affair. So they had to come up with a plan to make it look like they're working on things, and he can't just throw it out there that he had an affair and leave it there for people to sit in it. So now they're going to therapy. They're working out their problems. I know they have problems. I'm not saying they don't.
Bill would rather like light his testicles on fire than be there at that therapy thing.
Maybe you guys are right. Maybe I'm seeing it differently.
No, Brooklyn, no. Read that room. Bill does not want anything to do with therapy.
I just find it so hard to believe that an old school Turkish girl from an old school family would plaster marital problems all over the place this season. I really don't. I feel like she needed a storyline.
Please, God, I hate you for this, but like, Jennifer had to. Oh God, you're making me defend Jennifer Aydin. And
sorry.
I hate that I'm a human being with a soul and a conscience, but I have to defend when it's, I can hate you all I want, but like when they're not wrong, I'm not so full of hate. I'm not so full of hate that like I will not give people credit when it's due.
I get it.
But Jennifer didn't ask for it. And
no,
God,
of course not.
Jennifer, and I hate that. But it's making me
I mean, like she said, though, they sweep everything under the rug. Bill would just be super happy sweeping everything under the rug.
Exactly, Wicked, because
that's what they've been doing for a decade.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to talk about this as much as John said, lighting his testicles on fire.
I get it.
I don't. Yeah.
And I'm sure this is like probably, I don't know if it's hurting his practice, but like I can't, like, I don't know, like I can't see it doing wonders for his practice. I don't know. It's weird to me.
I don't know. I feel like people are still going to go to him because he's on TV and blah, blah, blah. Listen, look at the Sandoval thing. That's hurting them. I've read things the last couple of days that people are putting really bad Yelp comments at the bar, and people aren't going in. They're going in to complain and be nasty. What he did with Ariana is really, really affecting their business. I don't think it's affecting Aydin the same way.
And to piggyback off what you just said, Brooklyn, like if you've been following me for a long time, you would have know that I worked at a bar a few years back, and I was public about it. I was a bartender, and the bar loved that, like, I was like, big in social media, and they wanted the advertisement, and I promoted the bar, and look what happened to me.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Yeah. But I mean, isn't Bill like a plastic surgeon? So, I mean, he's dealing more so with people with elective procedures versus.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't think he's.
No, Wicked, I see your point. You're definitely making a good point. I get it. I just thought it was a really good storyline for her. She doesn't have one.
It is. I mean, like, Margaret gave her a storyline on a silver fucking platter.
Yeah.
Like, storyline.
Yeah, but I love Margaret so much, but I have to be honest, John.
No, I love Margaret more than I love Margaret. Like, I think Margaret unknowingly did that. Like, Margaret was like, and listen, let's talk about it. Jennifer has been a nasty, rancid bitch to Margaret. All these seasons, always going after, like, the affair that she had with Joe, her new husband, about her mom, about everything else. Well, Jennifer had the same shit going on in her house, and she was being just Jennifer and a evil bitch.
She just never, ever planned on anybody finding that out. She banked on the fact that it was a secret.
Oh, yeah.
I have to tell you.
And then she wants to throw it back at Margaret. Well, Margaret doesn't think about me. She doesn't think about my children. Do you think about Margaret when you did have your children?
Listen,
No.
Margaret had that information for like 2 freaking years, and she didn't say it. Okay, she had it for like 2 years. She said it because she couldn't take it anymore. Every
Right.
time she turned around,
You can only poke the bear.
That's
you poke
right.
it, you poke it, you
That's
poke it, and
right.
then just like me, you poke me, and then
Yep.
you're gonna get an eruption.
Yep. Listen, we know. Listen, let's be real for a second, guys. We know Margaret exposing her husband because she's got 5 kids was wrong. It was wrong, but I don't blame her for doing it. That girl sat there season after season after season talking about Margaret's affair with Joe and Margaret having a shit family and Margaret's ex-husband and Margaret sleeping with her boss. How many times are you going to let somebody punch you and you're not going to hit back?
True.
Eventually, you got to beat the crap out of
Bill
them.
is still cheating on Jennifer.
What?
No, I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if that's like still a thing.
Well, let me tell you, he'd be one stupid man because he'd be on the street.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. I think Jennifer is unbearable. And what Bill did, like cheating on her while she was 8 months, 9 months pregnant.
8 months pregnant, John.
Is just the shittiest fucking thing you can do as a human being. And that says a lot to Jennifer, because I'm looking at that and Jennifer just, she swept it under the rug.
Why? I'll tell
Jennifer
you,
didn't want to lose that money.
As a woman, and I'm sure you guys can agree with me in the chat too, like as a woman, I had 2 children, and when you are pregnant, your hormones, your body is taken over. Your hormones are everywhere. I was working every day. I was swollen. You don't have a good self-esteem. Every day is like hard to get through. Sometimes you're sick, you're huge. You already feel so not like yourself, and you wonder if you're ever going to get yourself back. And then for your husband, the father of that baby that you're carrying, to violate you like that is devastating.
No,
absolutely devastating.
And to that regard, I will give Jennifer a lot of credit, because I would never have I could never have forgiven him ever. It's so hard.
I couldn't.
When your loved one steps out on you and cheats on you. I mean, that's regardless if you have kids or not, whether you're married or not. Look at Tom and Ariana, right? Look at the scope of what cheating does to people. But I don't think for me, I'm looking through it well, why did Jennifer stay then?
I told you why.
Surprises me about
that's why.
What surprises me about Jennifer is she never moves on for something. She is a dog with a bone. She buries it. She picks it back up. She carries it around the house. She buries it again. But she stayed with Bill. So that he's making his life miserable because he probably can't afford to divorce her.
Well, it's cheaper to keep her, but it goes back to what I said before in a way, they are Turkish. They are old school. Listen, I don't want to.
And I don't think, I think Bill would rather be miserable than divorced.
Okay. Years ago, again, I'm not stereotyping. I'm just speaking from my experience. Years ago, the Italian community, so many men had a gumata. Okay?
A gumata is a whore.
You had.
If you don't know what a gumata is, that's the other woman.
You had your wife in one neighborhood, and you had your gumata in another neighborhood.
Yep.
These men never in a million years could imagine that Ancestry.com or DNA or spitting in a tube could ever existed. I have so many clients, at least once a month, that are like, you're never going to believe. I spit in the tube. I have a sister. You're never going to believe. I found a brother. This, that, and the third. They were cheating years ago like wild. And do you really think these women didn't know? They knew. But they did this. And they kept moving. Because it was a culture. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Jennifer and her husband, I know friends of theirs that are Turkish, that have known their family for years. They are old school. They marry for life.
And
Just
it's
like the old
usually
school
arranged
Italians.
too. There are arranged marriages too, which is like I don't know. Were Jen and Bill arranged?
I don't think so.
No, no.
But didn't Jen
Actually,
say that
Jen's sister.
didn't Jen say her brother had an arranged marriage when she
Yeah.
finished?
No, it
Maybe
wasn't
they did.
arranged. She hooked it up. She hooked the
So
marriage with
still
Melba and her
arranged in
brother.
a way.
Yeah.
She introduced them. Actually, Jen's sister was married to an Italian guy, and they had the daughter. Jen's sister has a daughter, and the daughter's last name and Jen's sister's last name is Italian. The sister didn't marry a Turkish. He unfortunately passed away. But yeah, she married an Italian. And that's very out of the box for that culture. Okay. That's very out of the box for that culture. But she's not divorcing him, and he's not divorcing her. They're just not. It's not happening.
I think that Bill's afraid to, because I think if Bill does divorce her, that he'll be left with nothing.
Less than
Do you
nothing.
know do you know, again, because I know some people that they know, do you guys know when this came out, when it came out that Bill had the affair? Bill's family was so mad at him. They didn't speak and they're very close. They're very close. They didn't talk to him for a while, and they were mad at Jennifer. Now think about that, guys. They were mad at Jennifer because of the shame and embarrassment and it coming out on TV. His own you would think like, okay, Jennifer's family's mad at Bill. His family was 10 times more mad because, again, it's their culture. You know what I mean? They're not getting divorced. Not
Oh
happening.
no. No, they'll never get divorced. She'll just
Not
make his life miserable. And at this point, he'll do whatever it is to appease her.
That's
And
right.
that's why he doesn't really step in when the kids know that mom is going to give them anything and everything that they want. She doesn't want them to be scarred. Dad wants them to have life skills. And they're going to grow up to be the village idiots running around. And then mommy's always going to take care of them.
Right. And, Jennifer, I got to be honest, Jennifer and Bill remind me, and this is going to sound so weird, but I know it's going to sound weird, but not all the bad shit, but Jennifer and Bill remind me a lot of me and my husband, because I'm loud, and obviously you guys know I don't shut up, and my husband is more quiet. I mean, we'll get into an argument, and I'll be like, "You motherfucker, you be," and he'll look at me like, and I'm like,
I see what Jennifer's doing as an act. It's smoke and mirrors. If Jennifer was never on the Housewives, they'd all be fine and whatever. And I feel like Jennifer is just doing this because the cameras are there and she needs a storyline. Listen, you're getting those good Bravo paychecks, right?
John, that's what I said this whole time.
I agree.
I'll drink on that.
I'll drink on that. Cheers.
Yeah.
Drink my water.
It's a lot of it. It is. It is.
But Jennifer she's never had a storyline like hers,
So now her storyline is making Bill miserable?
You know what, Wicked? It just might be. Well, I think that her storyline is coming, because I think that she is going to insert a lot of drama soon. A lot.
Oh, she already is. I mean, she blames everything on Margaret.
How many times have you heard her say the name Laura so far?
And you know what? People are giving Melissa a hard time. What's Melissa's storyline? Well, what the fuck is Jennifer's storyline? At least Melissa's related to Teresa and Joe, and
Melissa's storyline has always been and will continue to be Teresa. Sorry, it's true. But whatever,
Honey,
she's got one.
Hope wants in.
She's got one.
Hope is crying at the bedroom door. There we go. Sorry.
That's okay.
And it is what it is. So where are we now? Did we get to the baseball
Okay, so
game yet?
yeah, so now we go to batting practice, and they're bringing up the dynamic between Dolores and Frank's just really sad about their dynamic. But I think, Frank is always used to being number one in her life. And now that Paul is like stepping up and her plus one, I feel like Frank feels like he's going to be forgotten. And yes, it does affect their family dynamic, but I think if Paul and Frank just sat down and really talked about it, that it would be fine.
I don't think that's going to happen ever.
Oh no, but I just, both of them are too busy worried about being the alpha in the relationship.
I honestly think that that Frank has always taken Dolores for advantage, right?
For granted, yeah.
For granted.
For granted, sorry, for advantage, for granted. And I also think that like this is the first time since they've been married. Dolores said like, even when like, we weren't married, he was still a part of our lives. And
right, even when he didn't deserve to be.
And now Frank is, and the weird relationship with David and Frank and Dolores was weird. I mean, like, Dolores is doctor boyfriend living with her ex-husband and he's wiping his ass and they're living together like and so Frank Catania has had it made like, he's always had Dolores. We
As
know
a
that
second call.
Dolores, we clearly. And we know that Dolores loves Frank, but like, Frank's always had like, Dolores whenever he needed her.
Right.
And now, like, I can't get mad at Paulie, like, because he's the new man and, Paulie doesn't roll like that. And that's very hard to, like, by the way, I'm best friends with my ex and it's a mess.
I agree that, it is a transitional time. There are boundaries. And then once they get accustomed to the boundaries, things will be fine. I mean, but Dolores can't always put Frank ahead of her own needs.
Right.
She is preparing for her golden years and, on down the road.
So I think that the thing with Frank, he's so loved by the Bravo viewers, right? But here's the problem. The Bravo viewers got to know Frank 30 years after. So they got to know the Frank and Dolores after 30 years of work of them getting along so well, okay? But I know, like, the things Dolores lived through. So you're pregnant and you're home and your husband is a lawyer making all this money and he buys a boat without you knowing. And he's got 3 girls he's banging on that boat, and you're home with 2 babies,
Right.
Or the fights where they're breaking shit and cursing each other out and the family's not talking to him. Or when he doesn't come home for 3 days. Or when she gets a phone call from a girl saying, I was just with your husband. The Bravo viewers never saw that Frank. They only saw the super sweet Frank. You know what I mean? So that's why people can't understand what she's saying right now. She's saying, guys, I lived through fucking hell with him. Like, he's always going to be the father of my kids, but my kids are adults. And this is my time. And that is it. And I get it.
I agree with Dolores.
I get it.
And as much as I love Frank, because I think we all love Frank. He's like, the big teddy bear that we all want to hug,
because
right?
Now he's a teddy bear. But we didn't know Frank in his 20s, 30s, 40s, right? We didn't know the Frank that she lived. And if Frank would have been filmed back then, all of America would hate Frank.
Yeah, he would have been the asshole.
And again, I love Dolores, but like Frank does have a past. Like, he did cheat on Dolores and he was an attorney and he got disbarred. So, there's...
And they don't have babies. They have almost 30-year-old children who have
they have
lives.
adult children. They don't have to... They're past the coexisting and co-parenting part.
She got out of that marriage. She dated for years. She finally finds David. She falls in love with him. He don't commit to her. She wastes 5 years of her life. Now she's in her 50s. She finally deserves for someone to just focus on her and take care of her.
Because, like, I'm in my 50s, and what you look for in a mate at 50 and beyond is different than even in your 40s or in your 30s.
Right.
Because you're not so much you want to be physically attracted to that person, but their looks aren't that important.
But Glenda, was he a crutch for her or was she a crutch for him? I think he used Dolores as a crutch to not
I
move
think
on.
they were like kind of like both codependent on each other.
Exactly.
To be honest.
I don't think it was just a one-way thing. I think
Yeah.
there was codependency, and I think Frank was more codependent. If you
I
want to know the
think
truth.
Dolores, being like the good Italian woman that she is, wanted to keep her family together.
That's right.
And that's what it is, and that's what you do, right? Like,
Yep.
And Dolores, I see like Dolores was trying to keep her family together. She didn't want her kids to like not have a relationship with their dad.
Right.
And she,
sucked it up for the sake of the family.
Yeah. And now that, Dolores finds herself like, what am I going to do? Like, babysit this guy for the rest of my life?
Dolores is the definition of old school. She's old school.
And that's why I understand it. I could see, Dolores, why she did, because it's
100%.
But now Dolores, I met her and David, like on the boardwalk here. We hung out, and it was just, I never saw. Did anybody see a spark between Dolores and David?
No.
It was always, and
do you remember a minute ago?
More of a friendship than a romantic relationship.
Do you remember a minute ago how we were saying I brought up my cousin who couldn't drink and smoke and he didn't like it, and we talked about Teresa and how leopards can't change their spot. When she was with David, he was sweet, he was a nice guy and all that, but remember when she was having the surgeries and he wouldn't talk to her, and when she wanted to go out, he wouldn't go. She wasn't it was another relationship where she couldn't be who she wanted to be. Do you know what I'm saying? She wanted these things and he didn't support her in that. Now she has somebody who's got her back. He has got her back 100%, and she deserves to roll with it. And that's it.
100%. Yeah.
I agree.
But I really want to talk about the baseball.
But the weird part, before I forget, is like, Frank is like, a housewife. Like, just New Jersey's weird because it's really the only franchise where like the husbands have like as much of a part as the wives do.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
See this in New Jersey.
That's why they call them.
They tried this on OC. They tried to make Terry Dubrow hang out with Dr. Jen's husband, and it was bullshit. But like New Jersey's like with the husbands is the only franchise where like they have like the husbands have like they can have their own show.
Yeah, they're it's a very organic type of friendship with all of them.
I saw something about this. They said something that Joe Gorga has more, what is the interview called? When they do the interview, just them.
Confessional.
Joe Gorga has more confessional hours than some housewives on other series.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's New Jersey. That's what makes New Jersey very different from every other franchise.
Very different. Very.
It's not housewives. It's the house husbands or like the husband. I don't know what you want to, but like, so you have Frank, who was like on the show for like since 6 years now with Dolores.
Yeah.
And then you have Paulie coming in, and it's weird, like when they hang out together as a group, like Frank was always, the guys' nights and stuff like that.
Yeah,
maybe that's on Frank's mind too. Like, am I going to lose all my friends now? Because I've grown close to everybody. I mean, I've always wished that like Frank and Dolores would just like get back together.
Never gonna happen.
No, it's never gonna happen. But I kind of think that Frank, in a way, is like worried that like he's gonna be like not because he wants to be on TV, but
no, it's not the TV thing.
Edged out until he's
of the group,
not even thought of anymore. And then like and it's shitty.
Frank likes to have his girlfriend and his own life but he likes to be able to walk into Dolores's life at any time. The way you walk through a front door in and out,
Right.
revolving door, he likes that. That's his comfort zone. So yes,
Yeah.
he has his girlfriend. Yes, he has his life. But for Dolores, he likes to be able to come and go and be easily accessible. And that's got to change because she has a dominating guy now. You know, the other one, it was like, he was like, well, okay, whatever.
He was flaccid.
You
The
know.
best way to say he was Dave was flaccid. Just flaccid.
Right.
Yeah.
Flaccid.
Yep.
Like in
Yep.
Death Becomes Her.
He was
Flaccid.
married to only his career, and that was it.
And then, to his credit, he's a doctor, right? So, like, yeah, like, and maybe David should not have dated Dolores and, knowing that Dolores on a TV show. And
he's not just a doctor. He's an OBGYN surgeon. So he's delivering C-sections, babies. I mean, he's on call 24/7. Those doctors work around the clock.
Yeah. Like Dr. Huxtable.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's true.
All right, so okay. So, we kind of skipped over the part where like Dolores' dad came by, which is cute. He came with his own soda bottle.
That is so precious.
I love
Like,
it.
and I like her dad likes likes Polly, and he really hopes that there's. Thank you, Jay Freak. Again.
Jay.
I feel like I'm at a hoedown when you do that.
Thank you, Jay Freak.
Tambo, thank you, Jay Freak. There we go. Thank you. Jay
But
Freak,
Dad's got the stamp of approval.
Wait, Jay Freak, you know that you could type in like the box there. That's why it comes up empty.
Well, John, actually, sometimes when I send a super chat, it doesn't let me type.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't like when you say Hibbity Bibbity Williams all man. It doesn't like the all man.
Ew, Hibbity Bibbity Williams. Williams. Where are we?
But so I thought it was so precious. Dad bringing his Diet Coke because he didn't want to put her out. And
no, it's Coke Zero. And like, that's like, okay, if you're friends with me, like when I come to someone's house, I come with a bottle of wine in one hand and like a bottle of soda, like a 2-liter in my other. Because I'm like, I don't know what you need. And I need soda. So that's me always showing up at someone's door.
I was going to say, yeah, he brought it because he wanted to make sure he had the drink he wanted too.
Yeah. Because like we went to my friend Melissa's house over here in Toms River, and I know she never has soda in her house because I don't drink it. So I brought like a bottle of wine and a 2-liter because that's how I roll.
But it's one thing, like, I mean, like when I go to my cousin's house, I swear they have anything you could possibly want to drink. They have Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, the whole gamut. And it's like, if they don't have it, then you need to bring your own because they do have it all.
Yeah, you got to bring what you like. BYOS. Bring your own soda.
Bring your own shit. There you go. But I loved her dad. He's happy for her. Like he likes Paulie, whatever. So that's good. I just wanted to, because we didn't talk about that. So
yeah, he was very, very cute. I like this.
Do you guys know that her dad? So let me just say this really quick.
Her dad was a cop in Patterson for like.
No, he wasn't just a cop, John. Her father was the chief of police in Patterson.
Yeah, like
that's a huge position.
Yeah, Dolores' dad was a big shot.
And wasn't Dolores a cop too?
She was a CO.
Okay.
Which is like almost like the same thing.
But in New York and New Jersey, like especially Patterson, because it's a bad neighborhood, and it's huge. Bad. Patterson's huge. And he was the chief of police, which is a tremendous position. And her parents haven't lived together in like 25 years.
Yeah, but they're still together.
Oh, yeah, they're married and happy.
They're still married.
That's why they're happy.
They live separately, which is cool. Like, if that's how that works for them, good for them.
If it works, hey, listen, I get it.
Hey, you do you.
That's right.
There's sometimes when I wish I could go home to a different house and he's not in.
Hi. Guys, I turned 40 in July, and next month is my 18-year wedding anniversary. I've been married since I was an embryo.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
And we're together 23 years. So trust me,
When did you meet him?
I met him. I think I told you I met him when I was 17 on the Nautical Princess in Freeport.
The Nautical Mile.
Yep.
That was like I probably saw you there a million times. Like the
Probably
Nautical Mile. The Nautical
With
Mile
my
was
big
my
weed
spot.
with my big curly brown hair, my big gold earrings, and my black cherry lipstick.
I love the Nautical Mile in Freeport. If you're from Long Island, like go to the Nautical Mile in Freeport. Like that was like my spot for like 3 years, like every night, like and then like my grandmother and me like would go like off the fishing boats, and then like we would like the gambling boats off of Freeport.
Yep.
I love Freeport. We almost bought a house in Freeport, right there off the Nautical Mile, years ago, and we didn't, and I wish we did because I would have. It's a really nice house. Not a bought house. Rented a house. We almost rented a house there. Because I love the Nautical Mile. It's just fun.
It is.
Anywho, so 17. Like I thought I was good. Like with Cody, I met Cody. No, I mean I met him when I was 29. So we've been together for 15 years now, and married for 12.
It's not easy. 20
and in gay time, like that's like 50. I'm sorry, like us gays are different because, but yeah,
it's amazing. It's not easy. It's not. That's why I understand the two house thing.
Yeah, my parents were married before my dad died. 57 years. He passed on their 57th year, and they knew each other 6 weeks before they got married.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not easy, guys.
Like to go back to
a
like
roller coaster.
I homewrecked that shit. And thankfully, I was a homewrecker. I did. I came into town homewrecking with a bulldozer, and I was the other woman. And so, for all the ladies who are in an affair, when everyone tells you the husband will never leave the wife, hey, listen, worked for me.
I also worked for Camilla Parker Bowles.
John's like, look at the rock. Look
got it here.
baby.
Sometimes like when you're the other woman, it pays. I got lucky, I guess.
Look at Camilla Parker Bowles. She's now the Queen of England.
And now she's the Queen Consort.
When I met Cody, we were working in a restaurant, and he had his boyfriend for 5 years that they were living together, and I came in and
who's writing on that shit?
I mean, like, I'm me. So Cody was just drawn to me.
John's like, I'm me, so he had no
choice. It is what it is.
Drawn at me.
And I was a catch in my 20s. Let me just tell you, like raining dicks. I could get dicks whenever I wanted. It was raining dicks. I can get a dick at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday night if I wanted it.
I love the wedding picture of you and Cody. You look like a very young Clint Eastwood or Scott Eastwood. I do. I love that picture of you. Huh?
The black and white photo?
Yes.
Wait.
You guys were so young in that picture. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like you've got your profile, and it's very Scott Eastwood.
Oh, I could see that, Wicked.
Yes,
right.
100%.
I got it. Sorry. She said I look like Clint Eastwood. So
he's got to bring it out now, obviously.
Now I do, because of course. Hello, do you know me?
Yeah, you look Scott Eastwood.
No, but 100%. She's right. Holy crap, she's right. Because
when you posted it, at first I was like, "That's Scott Eastwood," and then I was like, "Oh no, it's not. It's John Yates and Cody."
Really? Yeah, that's our wedding picture, right?
That is my favorite picture of you two.
Okay, and now I have a very serious question.
Go ahead.
Will you ever contemplate going hairless again, like in that picture? Because I like it, John. I dig it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shock
I
the
don't know.
internet, John Yates. Shock the internet, John Yates.
I've had a beard now for like, God, a long time. I'm so
Because let
used
me
to
tell
it.
you, I love that hairless John Yates.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. You have really good cheekbones and you're not showing them to the world.
The funny thing about this picture was that like when you ask me to pose, I can't. Like I'll give you like the worst face. I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
I just
Me
don't
too.
know
Me too.
I don't know how to pose for a fucking picture. And this picture, like,
That picture is stellar.
this was in my friend's,
Yes.
we this is right before our wedding. We were taking pictures in my friend's backyard, my maid of honor's backyard. And actually this picture is a plane like went over and me and Cody were like looking at the plane.
Oh, wow.
This wasn't planned. And
Can I tell you, though, you asked
That's-
earlier about your haircut. That haircut in that picture I love.
Yeah.
I've had short hair for
Wicked agreed with me. Wicked agreed with me.
Yes.
So this
But,
is what's going to happen tomorrow night, guys. John's going to come on live with a short haircut and no facial hair.
So
Do
you're gonna
it.
cut all my hair off and shave my beard.
And then you're going to look like Clint Eastwood again. Who the fuck would do that?
Yes.
Clint Eastwood always has a beard. Are you feeling lucky, punk? Like that's Clint Eastwood. He's like
I'm just
Western
saying. I'm just saying. That picture of you, hot shit.
Yes.
I was also like 30 fucking 1 in that picture.
It doesn't
I'll be 44 in a week.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
31.
You were hotter than donut grease in that picture.
In this picture, I'm 31 and Cody is 26.
He's handsome too.
Wow.
Well, I didn't marry him for his brain.
Well, I know that. I mean, you could have married him for other things.
Yeah. So that
John, what night is your birthday?
March 27th, whatever night that is.
Was it a Sunday?
Let me look. I don't know what day it falls on. Calendar.
I think because I'm going to Lancaster to the Amish that weekend, but I'm thinking maybe Monday night we could have an online birthday party.
No, I'm gonna do like an online birthday party. I'm like, wait, when you go to Lancaster?
I'm going to Lancaster. Because I have to eat my Amish food. I'm going. I think it's the 26th of this. What was it? Sunday, the 20.
My birthday is on a Monday this year. That's lame.
Okay, because I'm going the 25th and the 26th.
When are you going?
Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 24, 25, 26.
Yeah, so my birthday's on the 27th, which is a Monday. Ugh, Monday is gross. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So maybe do it Tuesday.
Usually you want to do it on a weekend.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah,
44 is a lucky number. 44 is a lucky number. It's going to be a good year for you because whenever it's 2 4s together, we believe that it's luck. So there you go. You're all set.
From your lips to God's ears.
Well, thus far, it's been a pretty stellar year for you, John.
Huh?
I got the eye.
Thus far, it's been a pretty stellar year for you.
2023 has been pretty
Wicked.
stellar.
Of course it is.
The year as a whole has, but yeah, I'm happy with 2023 so far. I am. All right, so let's go back.
Let's go to the game.
Oh yeah, okay. So the game.
Like,
take it.
I loved that the younger kids were part of the game this year.
I didn't.
It was good seeing them.
I didn't like the kids there. Sorry.
Didn't you?
That's where I'm going with this. That's why I want to do the game.
I did not like, Gia, yeah. But like, Gino, like, I didn't like the younger kids there at all. Not one fucking bit. Sorry.
I got to tell you guys, I'm watching the show, and I'm on the treadmill because I was away, right? So I had to catch up on everything. So I'm watching this week's show, and when Joe Gorga's kids are in that room, and Teresa walks in, and Teresa's kids are in the room. I felt like my 13-year-old stomach sank. And meanwhile, I don't even know these people, and I'm watching a freaking reality TV show. But here's why. Because I have been in that situation so many times. And Wicked, you know, I always say this because Italian families were all similar, right? Who don't talk to who. I told you stories about my aunt and my engagement party barging in the room. So whenever my father didn't talk to his uncle, which was all the time, and we would have to be in a room with his kids, it was that feeling right away when you walk in. Your stomach sinks. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to act. You have to respect them because they're your elders. So you have to kiss them hello, even though you heard your father cursing them out for 3 freaking years. And you know that they're assholes. But you get this feeling like, what do you do? What do I say? How do I act? And I know those kids felt that, and that's why they shouldn't have been there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
that
it's
makes
an
sense.
awkward thing. It's an awkward moment. The tension is real. How do you act? You know, here they are on TV being filmed, talking about their uncle, talking about Melissa, and this and that, and mad at her because of the podcast. And now they're in a room playing a game, and it's like so weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I felt it through the screen. I felt it for them. It's a hard thing. I really could have did without them.
Like, first off, like you're like at a charity thing, like a big, like you're amongst adults, right? Like, so like when a kid's there, you really can't be your fucking self. Like, you know, you kind of have to, like, you know, pussyfoot around and placate because you don't want
100%.
the kid. And I'm sorry, like I did not agree. Like I thought Gia should have been the only, because Gia's an adult, right? So Gia's fine being there.
She's got her own confessional.
Yeah, she's getting paid from the show.
She's on payroll.
Right? Yeah, she's on the payroll. So Gia, yeah, I could see Gia being there, but Gia only. And like, you know, little Joey, 12 years old, like I you know, nope.
Non mi piace. Non mi piace.
And you know, I love Melissa, but again, I have to call a spade.
Yeah.
And I did not agree with Gino and Joey. And like, you know, the people going to my mama's to Coney Island Park there watching the game, they don't want to see kids bat. You know, they don't want it brings in a different element. Like these people aren't there for that. So
and even like, you know, Teresa saying, "Come here, Joey."
Yeah, like
saying, you know, it's rough, guys. That's a hard situation for the kids. It's a hard situation for the adults, and it felt weird as a viewer who can relate, who's been in that situation with my aunts and uncles. You know, my mother's not talking to her brother. So now I see his kid. Now it's like, what do? I give him a kiss, but it's not real. But you're mad. Your mother's looking at you. Your father's looking. It's such a weird thing. I'm telling you, I lived it.
I don't think Melania should be involved with this stuff either. I don't.
Agreed.
I personally don't think Gia should. I realize that she's an adult child, but
payroll, honey. Like,
oh, I know, but
she's a housewife
in training. If she's getting a coin, she's involved.
Yeah, no, Gia's a housewife in training. She'll be like on the show soon, or a friend of Gia, Teresa's daughter, or whatever. You know, and you know, Gia, I'll give Gia the pass. You know, but like I don't think Melania should be involved, or like, you know, maybe Antonia, but Antonia's still like under 18, so I don't think anybody under 18 or under 21 really, for that fact.
So would it have been okay if like Frankie Jr. showed up?
They're adults.
Well, okay. Frankie Catania Jr. No, I think he played on the last year's team, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he's an adult, so that's fine. But I didn't like, you know, Joey or Gino just being there, and I didn't like that, not one bit. I hated it.
And Wicked, I do agree with you. I love seeing them. I like seeing them grown and watching them grow up. And I do generally always like seeing the kids on the show. I like to see people's kids. But in this situation, I felt
you were
tense.
like, yeah, you're looking at it from, you've been in this situation where I'm not looking at it from that point of view.
Yeah. Yeah.
like, you're at the park, right? Like, and me as a spectator, right? Like, I wouldn't want to see, like, 12-year-old, like, Gino Gorga coming, I just thought, like, my mom and East didn't have any kids on their team, right?
Yeah.
Just
Or like
doctors,
the first
just
time,
doctors and nurses and shit.
or like the first time you haven't seen your aunt in a year, and the first time you see her, there's 8,000 cameras in a small locker room. It's
and
like what?
and a stadium around you. So
Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
I didn't like it.
No.
Like, if they were playing softball, like their local high school, like having fun, that'd be fucking something. Like that's different. But like, this is a televised.
Even John said,
event.
John said with the kids, I didn't get to comment last week. I wasn't here, obviously, but the wedding dress shopping. When she brings Melania, it's her daughter. Of course you bring them. But when Melania says, "You don't come see a wedding, girl, I'm done. I'm done."
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And I'm like, you know what, Melania? Know your role. You're a kid.
Yeah.
The
and
camera.
Right or wrong, Brooklyn, like any other parent would have been like, shut the fuck up.
You want to see what my mother would have did to me? She would have went. And I would have went, okay, I don't know. I'm okay, bye.
I didn't mean it.
This fucking day. I was just on the cruise with my mother. One day on the cruise, and we're best friends. I was on the cruise with her. I wanted to gamble. She goes, "You lose one more dollar, I'm not giving you no money. I gave you $300." And I'm like, "Ma, enough. Don't tell me I'm 40 years old." She looked at me. She goes, "Excuse me?"
Like, oh, Mom, I'm so
like,
sorry.
"Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean that. I was just kidding." Right away, I was like a baby.
Like, I was just kidding, Mom.
She looked at me at the elevator like,
oh, my mom could still do that to me, and I'm in my 50s.
I was like,
just
"Mom,
kidding.
sorry."
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, and if my grandmother was still alive, she would have just slapped me.
I don't know how to say it in English. I really don't know the word. I don't know like the word, but in Italian, we'd say like Teresa gives them too much confidenza. Too much confidenza. Like she gives them too much, how do I say
confidence.
Like strength, confidence to say these things in front of everybody. Like she wants them to.
Like an unwarranted confidence.
Yeah.
G is fine.
Because Teresa allows her children to be disrespectful to her brother, where my mom would just wrap me across the face and not think twice about it.
Like,
my mother hasn't talked to her brother in years, and he's like the Fredo of the family, but she hasn't talked to him in years. Until this day, if I say something, he's like the Fredo. And if I say, "Well, your brother's an asshole," she'd be like, "Okay, he's my brother. It's not your business."
If you never watched The Godfather, that's that inference there, the Fredo.
Oh yeah, my mom would flat tell me to shut my mouth.
100%. 100%.
Like, regardless, like kids don't speak up against like.
And I mean, I couldn't imagine, like even last year when Gia had the conversation with Joe about what he was saying about her father. I mean, my family would rip my tongue out.
That was wicked. That's a great example, Wicked. That was awful. My grandmother used to say to me, I mean, obviously now, God forbid you say this, you're depressing them. My grandmother used to say, excuse me, children should be seen and not heard.
Exactly.
Yep.
And even my adult
God
self.
forbid you say that. You don't want to make them, you're going to give them a low self-esteem. They all need a medal. You're going to be depressing them. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. What do you mean? Like, no, it's true. They shouldn't put themselves in adult conversations.
They shouldn't.
Because like, even in my family, and I don't know if it's like this in your all's family, but like my aunt and uncle will check me quick.
Of course.
Like, especially growing up, if anyone told you anything, you respected what they said and you went on.
You listened.
Yeah. You're like, okay,
I'll give you a story. Okay, so I was like 12. Yeah, 12. My grandmother was fighting with my aunt. And my
Her sister?
Yes.
Okay.
like my great aunt, like in my family,
Yeah,
like
I get it.
yeah, like no, but she was my aunt. So my grandmother was fighting with my aunt, who was her sister, but she was my aunt. In my family, it's weird because like my mother, just to give you an idea, my grandmother had my mother, but then my mother was adopted by my grandmother's mother, my nanny, which made the dynamic in my family weird because my mother became like the sixth sister. Like
I know a couple people that happened to. Yes,
right,
I know what
yeah.
you mean. Yes.
So those are my aunts. Okay. And my grandmother had a big fight with my aunt, and my aunt came over and like was mad at my grandmother, and they had a big fight in my kitchen, and it was, and I was, I had my grandmother's back. So when after like they were screaming, right? Because my aunt
get loud.
My aunt walked down the stairs, and I said, "Good riddance" to her.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And
that wouldn't have went over well in my family.
No. Oh my God. I got a beating. And even though my heart was pure, because I was like defending my grandma, who was like my mom who was raising me, my grandmother was like, "What the fuck did you just do?"
You know why, right? Because you messed it up 10 times worse.
Yeah.
You saying that made the fight escalate to a new level, John.
And like when my aunt got home, my grandmother made me call her and apologize.
That's right.
Even though they just fought like cats and dogs.
Doesn't matter. You're a kid. Mind your business.
Exactly.
It's like what Joe Gorga said when like Wicked brought up a great point. When Gia told off Joe Gorga in front of the cameras, he said, "Wow, man, if I would have ever talked to my aunts and uncles like that, my parents would have killed me." And he was 100. And Teresa should say to her daughters, "This is me and my brother. No matter what goes on, when the cameras are on, shut your mouth."
And to that point, Joe Gorga is 1,000,000% right. Because even though I said good riddance to my aunt, like, and I love my aunt too. Like, I loved her. One of my favorite aunts. So like, I was defending my, and I'm a little fucked up in the head because of my mom and everything, and so like whatever. But like, and she was walking out the door, and she's like, "Goodbye, John Michael," and I said, "Good riddance." And she looked at me. My grandmother looked at me. My grandfather looked at me. Like they didn't know whether to shit or go blind. Like, and then as soon as like the door closed, my grandmother pulled me by the shirt and she goes, "What the fuck did you just do?"
All of a sudden, you're like, Aunt Millie, I'm sorry, Aunt Millie. You know what I mean? Like,
and yeah, she's like, "You're calling her right now and apologize." And I go, "Oh, okay, whatever. I thought I was helping you." And she's like,
"I don't need your help. Don't you ever do that again."
It's exactly what she fucking said. That's exactly what she said.
Did I ask for your help? I didn't ask for your help. I don't need your help. Don't ever do that shit again.
Yeah. And I had to call and apologize. And I'm like, well, fuck me. Like I thought I was doing like the right thing, and then like, when I was in bed, I heard my grandmother laughing, to my grandfather, like they were talking. She goes, "Can you fucking believe he said good riddance to her?" And they were laughing, but like, that's,
At least you said good riddance and not like, "Fuck you." You know
what I mean?
No,
I, because I'm crafty, even as a 12-year-old,
you're good with words.
But like they were screaming at each other. And this had, it was a years old, like fight because Italians hold grudges like no one.
Did you guys see what Teresa told her therapist? That her father didn't talk to Kathy's parents for $200
for 6 years.
And that lasted for 6 years. And guess what? My family would do it for 50.
Yeah. Well, the fight was, and I'll my grandmother. Well, I don't want to give too much details because then people will start. But
better off not.
It was like an old family grudge that my grandmother and her sister and my aunt have been fighting over, and it was just And I thought I was.
By the way, guys, it usually comes down to something monetary, but whatever.
It 9 out of 10 times. And it could be like a pie. It could be like, you know, if you're living in someone's house and they kick you out, which kind of may have been like whatever. But yeah, and I was like, I got you, Grandma, and I like good riddance, and oh my, that was like I was the asshole.
You.
Yeah,
I just think that her children are very quick to comment, and I think that sometimes less is more, and I think that at the end of the day, it's not their battle. It's not.
It's truly not.
That's it.
But I think Teresa also has incorporated them into her battle.
The kids shouldn't be involved.
I was shocked when I heard that Melania did not go to Antonia's Sweet 16. I was shocked.
No, it was Antonia.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, it was Antonia who didn't go to Melania's, but like, you know,
I was shocked.
Was it like cheer practice or like
a cheer competition?
John, it doesn't matter.
I don't know. Like, okay, like, you know, I'm Team Melissa, and like I see it both sides. Like, that's a big slap in the face. But like, I also played professional like tennis. Like, you know, I was like a tennis person as a kid, and I miss a lot of birthday parties and stuff like that. I had to go play tournaments. I was traveling. Like, I played tennis, you know, up until from when I was 7. I played NCAA tennis in college. So like,
cheerleading isn't something you can easily move someone into your spot.
No, cheerleading is a sport.
Yes,
you know it is, and they work hard. And I'm not trying to defend Melissa. I know Brooklyn wants to jump on me for this. I'm not trying to defend Melissa. I think it's awful that Antonia missed it, but I also know, as someone who, like, as like a teenager athlete, like, you know, you do.
Yeah.
I miss my own. I miss so many school functions because like I had to go play a tournament, and like, so I do understand that.
Yeah, my niece cheered in high school, and just the amount of time and practice was, I mean, and she goes to a public school, and they had to send home a payment plan in a public school for her to teach or for her to cheer, because you've got, you know, your competition uniforms, you got your home uniforms, you got your away uniforms, and it just was like crazy. So I get, you know, it's her senior year. There's a competition, you know, it's not easy to move someone in, especially like if she's a base or a flyer or whatever. You just can't put someone else in your position.
Paying for it, and that's your life. Like, tennis was my life.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
100%.
So like, I can't, you know, if it was like a big competition for Antonia and that's why she missed, I kind of like have to give her the pass on that, because I miss a lot of events, you know, whether it was in school or, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you miss dances, you miss proms, you miss parties, you know, it's just crazy.
But my family or my friends understood it. They understood that like tennis was my life.
You have to admit, it's different circumstances. These people are in a bad place. You know the deal. Her to miss it was like, wow, you know.
Well, that's what Teresa was saying. You know, was she really that upset, or did she understand because Antonia caught her and said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I got a cheer competition." You know, because most of the competitions, like depending on when it is, would have been like a Saturday or a Sunday. Like if they're going to nationals, then that's a 2-day event. But if it's like,
she wasn't there. I don't know what it was, but she wasn't there. So I'm gonna say I'm done with that conversation.
I'm just saying, like, it's, you know, I get it. And I miss,
you know, it's a different world now. Can I just say this? I'm gonna get crap for this, but
I miss my 8th grade, like, you know, I went to Catholic school. I went to St. Catherine's over in Franklin Square.
Yeah.
I miss my own 8th grade, like when they were sending us off, Like it was like a big event in like my school, and I wasn't there because I had to play tennis. So I get it.
Listen, I guess for me, okay. So things are different now, right? So like when I was a kid, you played a sport, that's great. But if it's a family party, even Sunday dinner, why aren't you at Sunday dinner? Like you can't miss anything, right? Now, this one can't come to your birthday because they have practice. This one has, and I get it. I get it's a big deal. I get these kids are invested, but I feel like they're so invested in sports. What about being invested in the family time stuff? Like they miss, that's a whole conversation for another day, I know. But I'm just saying, I feel like that takes over now.
If it's practice, like, okay, that's bullshit. Like, but if you're there for like a competition or like a tournament, like I have to, because I lived that, and like I had people mad at me, because but like I wanted to play tennis. I worked my ass off to like, work myself up the ladder.
I get it.
I was a seeded player. Like, I'd be like the number 1, 2 seed in these tournaments. Like, and I was working on becoming a professional tennis player. So you saw how far that got me. But
you enjoyed it. You enjoyed it.
I did. And like, I played, oh my God, my hair now. No, oh God, this long hair is just.
I told him, guys, cut it off.
But I was serious about it, and like I went to the college level, NCAA, and then here I am.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
go ahead.
And granted, cheer's not, you can't like become a professional cheerleader, but like UK cheerleading has won more national championships than their football and basketball team. They've got a 25-year history. Yeah, so I mean,
very serious here too now. In fact, our local high school, I'm in Long Island, obviously, and our 2 local high schools that went to Disney for the Nationals both won top prizes in the country. So
That's
get
awesome.
it. It's huge. There's signs everywhere in my neighborhood right now. MacArthur High School in Wantua, one in Seaford. They won like top national, whatever.
Yeah.
It's tremendous. I do understand. But, with the family being in shambles and shit being a mess, her not being there was bad enough to be brought up on the show.
Wendy, yes. But like, we don't know if Antonia was like, I mean, like cheerleading.
Wendy,
like,
thank you, Wendy.
Has no one seen Bring It On?
Wendy, you're my girl, Wendy. You are my girl.
Has no one seen Bring It On? Like cheerleading, and like,
like Wendy, seriously, Google UK cheerleading. They are a dynasty.
All 4 years that I played high school tennis, like not once did I ever see one cheerleader on the fucking court. Cheerleaders were like, football and basketball. That's what you got cheerleaders for. Like tennis, no. But cheerleading, I've seen Bring It On and Bring It On again and Bring It On Fully Loaded and Bring It On twice removed. So I understand that cheerleaders, like, that's a sport.
Yeah. I mean, it can be serious business.
But I mean, do you guys agree with me anyway? Like, as far as like the fact that the kids just shouldn't state their opinion. I mean, they just shouldn't.
Yeah.
I just,
right.
I agree.
100%.
1,000,000% agree.
My son is 15. We're very close, him and I. And I talk to my son like an adult about everything, all about love you, Wendy. I talk to my son about everything, and he knows all the bullshit in my family. He knows the drama with my family. He knows stuff with my in-laws. He knows it all. But he knows that when we're in public, sta zitto. Shut up.
No, state zitto.
State zitto. Well, in Italian, it's really stai zitto, but the American version is state zitto. He knows the deal. Don't insert yourself. Don't make comments, and don't say a word, because I will kill you. I'll be like.
So yeah, Teresa pulling Gino over, or was it Joey? I don't know, one of them. Like, and of course it's gonna be awkward. Like, when they only see each other like at big televised events, like whether it be like.
And again, the kid didn't know. You saw his face. He's like, "Frig, what do I do?" And then his father's like, "Joey, come here, Joey, come here." I felt like me at 13. I literally in that moment got like stomach anxiety. I'm like, "Oh my God, I know this feeling right now." And they have to have cameras in their face. Like that's why I think the kids should have stayed home for that reason.
That makes sense.
We like us Italians are weird. Like we're like really.
Yes, you are.
Of course, we're strange.
Like you like. That's why I love having Brooklyn up because like, it's. She gets
and
it.
Wicked's like, we're normal. You guys are not normal.
No, I mean it's good to see it from a different point of view because I'm looking at it as a spectator. You're all looking at it like, oh shit, we've been there.
Yes, and you know what, Wicked? Thank you for saying that because I think I told John this when I decided to come on this panel in the very beginning, right, John? I said the reason I will come on the panel is because I feel like maybe like I could say something like all these people in the United States are watching the show and they'll get one perspective and maybe I could explain a different perspective from a cultural standpoint and they'll be like, oh, okay, like I'll get that, you know, like they'll understand it better, you know? I don't know.
There's like a lot to be said, like, you know, because Italians aren't like everywhere around the country. Like, you know, we have our pockets of like, you know, places in the tri-state area, like, you know, and where else? I don't know. Like
I said, if you go to my family in Rome, they know.
Well, not in Rome. Obviously, like it's gonna be different in Rome.
Like, but no, John. You go to like my little village and my mom's family in Sicily. They know New York, New Jersey, California, and Canada, and that's what they know. And sometimes you go to Chicago. That's what they know. Canada, New Jersey, New York.
Perfect Italian accent.
California, and then California. That's all they know. They think America, and Canada's not even in America, but they think those 5 places make up the country.
Oh, okay. You should take me. They would
guys, I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
But they're kind of right because it's pretty much where we all are. So,
and by the way, guys, I'm being funny. I'm being sarcastic. Like, of course they know it doesn't. Of course, Italians are not stupid. They're very smart people. But I'm just saying, like the old school Italians, that's what that's where they went. They went to New Jersey. They went to New York. They went to Canada. Canada is full of Italians. And you know where and you know where else? Venezuela has a lot of Italians. A lot. Really? Yeah. Not Venezuela. Sorry. Argentina. Sorry, not Venezuela.
Because I think I have like I need like a 22andMe for me. Because like my grandmother always told me like she always fucked with me. So I don't know if it's true. I said this before. She's like, you know, somewhere in our blood we're related to the Perones. I'm like royalty. Like that I always knew that I was. Like, don't cry for me, Argentina. But
well, my mom and dad, when I was younger, told me that I grew from an orange seed, and if I swallow an orange seed, I will grow another me. They loved to fuck with me when I was a kid. So until I was 8 years old, I'm like, oh my God, I can't swallow a seed.
Argentina. Well, my grandma would always. My grandmother was my best friend. Like I miss her so much.
Sounds like it.
Oh my God! Like you have no idea. Like I would hang out with my friends, and then they were like, "Well, invite your grandmother." I'm like,
okay.
Oh. Yeah, and like like
okay.
she would come play bingo with us. Like, oh my God, I really love her. I miss her so much. But
they're the best, John. And you don't realize when you're younger, like how valuable they are. You know it, but you don't really know it, right?
Well, it's different for me because, like, you know, she raised me too. You know,
yeah.
Like my great grandmother became like my regular grandmother. Like my grandmother was like my mom. Anywho, at any rate, I don't think that like the kids should be involved at all.
No,
I think Teresa having Melania up there, like you know.
Yep.
Like, if it were me saying that about my uncle, like I would have got slapped across the fucking face.
Yep.
You don't say that about like your family. Just like 100%. You know, my grandma said, you need to call your aunt right now and apologize, even though she hated her at that time. that's that's not what you do.
Nope.
So, did anybody find it weird that that they were down? They were down 8 runs up until like the last inning, and then they caught
Who
up.
saved it? Who even did well? Oh, Danielle. Danielle did well.
Did she?
She played. Yeah, she played for years. They showed the
clips.
clips.
She caught 1 ball.
No one else did, John.
She caught 1 ball. But okay, so Danielle's the MVP. Okay,
MVP of that game. They suck.
And they won. So
and they won. How did that mysteriously happen? I want to know.
It's just so weird. They were.
You know what? They did win ultimately because they raised $200,000. So I think that was amazing.
Yeah. Yes. And maybe the doctors rolled over.
Missed a couple on purpose.
It's just so weird how Jersey Housewives with children playing made it
I can't.
But good for them. And we're going we are going.
I'm there. You tell me and I'm there.
We are going this year. And not only are we going, but you know what's funny? I've never been to I never rode the Cyclone.
And I never will.
You're not going to go on the Cyclone with me?
Absolutely not.
Oh my God, Cody's a pussy too. You're
I
not going to go on the Cyclone.
I will hold your Coca-Cola bottle while you're on it.
You're not going to go on the Cyclone with me. It's an old
Not one chance in hell. I'll
Sorry,
stand
I
with Cody and
disconnected myself.
You really won't go on the Cyclone?
No.
It's like a kiddie roller coaster.
The teacups are my level.
What's a Cyclone? I might go on it with you.
It's like this.
I think Wicked will do it.
It's a roller coaster in Coney Island. Coney Island has an amusement park. It used to be called it was Astroland. I think they changed names, but the Cyclone's this famous roller coaster in Coney Island for a billion years, and Brooklyn will not go on it with it. Cody,
as long as it doesn't spin in circles like crazy, I'll do it.
There's no loops or nothing on it.
I'll throw
Am I spinning?
Who?
Have y'all never been on a fucking roller coaster?
No, never ever.
Cyclone sounds like it's spinning. Yes, I've been on the Beast, the largest wooden roller coaster in the United States at Paramount Kings Island.
Wicked's down.
A cigarette and then hand it. It's right there.
Wicked's ready.
I'll go. I love roller coasters.
What is this? Cyclone who?
When we go to play softball with the Housewives this year.
Oh, I ain't going on that shit.
Thank you, Cody. I like my life.
It's wooden.
Listen, John knows I don't do roller coasters.
Not happening.
I'll do small roller coasters, but I don't do loop-de-loops.
Okay, well, guys, John might not know this because he was a Long Island kid and I grew up in Brooklyn. But we had this place we always went to. It was called Nelly Bly.
Nelly Bly was on that. Nelly, get your face on camera now, bitch.
Hold on, I was fixing my hair.
Give me burr.
Nelly Bly was off the Bell Parkway.
No. I know exactly where Nelly Bly is. I lived in Bensonhurst, bitch. Okay.
So
right there, right where the Toys R Us was and the Kohl's is now, right there on Shore Parkway.
Caesars Bay Bazaar, not far from there.
No, give me this.
So this is what I'm going to tell you. So at Nelly Bly in Brooklyn, right? It was like a 2x4 amusement park
in the whole entire world, which is still there. Okay.
They have this little tiny roller coaster. It's like for 5-year-olds. It goes up once, down once,
I
up
cannot
once,
believe
down
you
once.
just fucking said Nelly Bly. Oh my God.
This happens in every live. So Wicked, I tried for years, right, to get on there and not have them stop the ride. It's for kids. It's for little kids. They call it a roller coaster, but it's like boop-a-doo, like twice. Every time I would go on there, I would go, get me off right now. Get me off right now. I would have a shit fit on the Nelly Bly roller coaster. And this guy
Cody's yelling at me because he said, John, you're not supposed to be doing 2-3 hour lives anymore. And I said, well,
that's what y'all said before.
I know.
No, it's my fault.
Let me tell you something about Nelly Bly.
Did the whole show tonight, Cody.
Oh, you covered everything?
I swear to God, the whole
Yeah.
show.
It just ends with Bill and Jen and therapy, which was nothing.
But going back to Nelly Bly, okay, so we just went to Long Island for like my friend's funeral. And I showed Cody, I'm like, this was my favorite place in the whole wide world as a kid. Because like, I don't have many very good memories as a child. But my mom we would take the bus down Ocean Parkway to Nelly fucking Bly. And that was my favorite place in the whole wide world. And Nelly Bly had this is like 1985. I must have been 6 or 7. Shit. You all know I love the Care Bears, right? They were always one of my favorite toy.
Oh, I know what he's gonna say.
And well, I don't know if you remember this, because if you're a Nelly Bly enthusiast like I was, my mom, obviously couldn't afford to buy us Care Bears or whatever. And Nelly Bly had this like one stand where they had Care Bears, and it was a wheel.
Yes, it was. And guess what? Yeah. Guess what, John? I have a picture in front of that stand.
Send it to me right fucking now. I'm gonna cry.
I have to go through my crap. I will find it. I'm gonna find it, right?
So you played the same wheel I did. My mom, I love Care Bears, and my mom.
Okay, so hold on. I was in this picture. I had my little Oshkosh Bajash overalls on. I know the picture, I'm gonna say
with white stripes.
I'm gonna say I was 4, so it had to be like 1986.
Yep.
I had the blue with the white stripes.
Yep.
On the Oshkosh.
Yep.
I think it was about 4.
Oh my God.
That's why I said I know what you're gonna say.
You actually.
Yeah.
Blown away. So, my mother couldn't afford to buy me any Care Bears, and my mom was in just not great, but I would always beg her to, and to get to Nelly Bly was like a treat, because
always, because we didn't have a lot of money back then either. So
yeah.
Did
you live in Brooklyn?
I was born and raised in Canarsie. I didn't move to Long Island until I was 16. I'm from Canarsie. You know where Kings Plaza is?
Yes.
Canarsie, right there.
Well, I was in Bensonhurst until I was 7.
By 18th Avenue?
We lived on East 62nd Street off Bay Parkway.
So this was John and I are talking about is like the local, now in Long Island, we have Fun Time on Route 110, which is this huge place that all gets $1,000 every time you go. But when I was a kid, my mother's saying we're going to go to Nelly Bly on Saturday was like a thing because it would cost her let's say $30, which was a lot of money,
I can't believe you know Nelly Bly. I can't believe you know Nelly. I just I'm and the Care Bear and they had little stands.
I am gonna find that picture because now it's
you have to find it. You have to.
Now it's gonna be like a thing for me. You know what I mean? I just want we had Chuck E. Cheese and I had my birthday party there and I have all my pictures. I know my pictures,
But it's the one. It's my favorite memory of me and my mom. And if you have the picture of you in front of
I have to find it. It's my mother's gonna kill me because I gotta go in her basement now. She's gonna be so mad.
You have to.
Wicked, you don't understand. When I tell my mother I need a picture, she goes, "Here we go, here we go." Because when my head gets something, I rip. I go through every cabinet.
I'm the same way. Yes, Cody.
And I don't know why that happens to me, but until I'm holding what I need,
you rip everything apart.
I will, and I'll put it back together. I will, but not the same like she wants it. But I will, and if I'm there on Saturday, I'll do it all day. If I didn't find it, I'll come back tomorrow. She's like, please stay home. Please don't come back. And then she'll tell me, I'll find it, which she'll never find it. She'll never find it.
I had to find a Game Boy game that I had from 30 years ago. When it first came out, I'm like, I know I had this game.
I still have Nintendo and Duck Hunt and Paperboy.
I tore our fucking house apart for this one Game Boy game because I knew I had it. I didn't know it was. And I could not sleep or rest until I fucking found it. I'm the same way. So back to Nelly Bly. So they have the Care Bear stand, and obviously I've always loved Care Bears.
When
Like,
Wicked comes to New York, we're taking her to these places.
well, it's still Nelly Bly. So now it's called like Adventurers, like something
I
or
don't know
or
what
shit
it's
like
called
that.
now.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll go.
I mean,
but
again, we have Adventureland on Route 110, but that's nothing
no,
like what
that's
we're
no
talking
Nelly
about.
Bly.
And Nelly Bly had a little inside section where you could buy food too, you know? And it's like, I knew not to ask for that because if my mom got me the tickets, I knew that that was like a lot of money. So she would always say, we'll eat when we get home because we didn't have a lot of money. So I already knew at like 4 years old not to ask her for the pizza inside. You know, they had like a little Burger King thing in there too. It was such a different time because now we go to Fun Time and my kids think I'm spending 5 G's in freaking Fun Time. You know what I mean?
But let me show you
Crazy.
something, which I don't really ever show, but I'll show you something. So that day I was 7. I had been 7, I think, and I begged my mom, and my mom had like $1, and she put it on the wheel, and she won, and she's like, John Michael. She go, pick which bear you want. And I, obviously I picked Cheer Bear, but now this is not the bear I want at Nelly Bly because this is what it looked like originally. I bought this off eBay just to give you an idea.
And by the way, guys, the people that I've heard in the past say things, and I never do this, but about John liking Care Bears, this is what people don't understand. It's not a bear or a stuffed animal. It's a lifetime of memories. It's a symbol of your life. That's why people love stuff like that. It's not about a freaking stuffed animal. It's about a symbol of a happy, innocent time before life got fucked up.
You really hit the nail on the head with what you just fucking said. You really did. So, this is what, and now, this is what it looked like when I first got it.
Wicked, do you see that?
This is my bear now. This is the bear I got from Nelly Bly.
Oh my God, John.
This is the bear. And she's been stitched up and I have slept with this bear every night of my life since I've been 7 years old. Like, just to give you an idea, this is what it looked like fresh when I won it. I bought this off eBay like a couple years back, just to get an idea of what my bear used to look like. So this is what she looked like when I won it. And this is her now. And this is the most important thing in the world to me. This bear. This bear means, and I've slept with this bear. Ask Cody. Every night.
John says, listen, the bear comes out before, if we have a fire,
if I had to pick this bear, if Cody and this bear were hanging off a cliff, I would pick this bear over Cody. I'm just saying. And this is my bear that my mama won me from Nelly, and she's all stitched up and gross looking and disgusting. And and this is my baby. And I've had her. And this is the only thing that I have left from my mom. This is the only thing that my mom ever gave me, and this is the only thing I have from her. And
I didn't come on this live to be hysterical fucking crying right now.
But this is in, like, just to give you an idea, like, this is what she looked like when I first got her in 1986, and this is what she looked
like. I could have given birth to you all.
And this bear is like my world, and the most important thing in my life is this bear. And everybody, all my friends know it. Like, they're like, how's Bear? I call her Bear.
Burr.
I call her Burr, actually. But like, she's all stitched up. Like, I don't even know how, like, I can hold her. Like,
she looks like a zombie bear.
And the funny thing is, like, that, like, everybody in my life who's meant something to me has, like, worked on her. Like, my mom put stitches here over here. My Aunt Jeanette sewed her together. I didn't mean the middle finger. My Aunt Jeanette stitched her here. My great grandmother stitched her here. My grandmother stitched her here. So, like, not only
isn't it funny because she was $1, but she's worth a million.
John, when I come to your house, I'm going to just sew a stitch in it. So then you can say, look, this is my friend Wicked. She put this here.
And when we travel, I can't sleep without this bear. Like, ask Cody. Like, I can't.
It's true.
Like,
It is true.
this bear is part of my soul. And it is honestly the only thing.
And she can't be packed and put in like a
No,
luggage thing
no,
and put in the
no,
trunk.
no.
She has to be put in her own little special carrying case.
Yeah,
that he
she's
has,
on me.
and she's in the back seat.
She's on me. Like, if I travel, like she's not in
She's not
luggage
packed
where she'd
away.
get lost.
She is in a. She's
She-
in
So
her
you
own
mother
bag.
jumpers that dare make a nasty comment about a grown man loving Care Bears. After this live, if there's one word ever spoken about that, you're pathetic.
And now, well, I have a little outfit for her. I put the little outfit on. So this is
That's her traveling case.
Yeah, that's her
Like,
travel.
I
This one's
love it.
coming for you if you say anything.
And
I
she
love it,
comes, and
John.
she's 10. It's not even like it's like whatever. So that way nothing can smush down, no nothing. So this goes into our back seat. And
Because Cody, he gets to bring a piece of his mom with him everywhere he goes.
It's no bother. Hey, listen, whatever makes them happy, it makes me
It's the only
happy.
thing I have for my mom.
I don't care. Whatever he wants.
And
That's
there's a,
precious.
if you want to
40-something
keep
years old
going,
and he sleeps with the bear. I don't care.
I'm 44. Yeah, and I sleep. I can't sleep without this bear. Like, I can't.
And I need him to
Called
sleep
security.
because he's gonna
I
keep
can't.
my
I
ass
can't.
up, and
I
I can't have
can't.
that shit.
Since I've been 7 years old, like, I slept with that bear, and when my mother.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. Really,
Yeah.
for
I
real.
mean, that's, a
For
piece
real.
of you.
And I bought this off eBay just like to show Cody. I'm like, this is what this used to look like. And then it went from this and 40 years later to that.
I had to put the little
It's not bad looking for 40 years,
I gotta tell you, Wicked, I don't think so either.
I mean,
But there's more to it. And since we're being honest, I'll just say it real quick. Do you want to end the live? I don't know if you want. Oh my God, I missed a super chat from Addie. Hold on. Shit.
Addie.
Oh my God, Addie, thank you so much. I completely missed it.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's so
thank
nice.
you.
Thank you,
Addie
Addie.
is amazing. I love Addie. One day I want to be on a panel with Addie.
She's so
And Maria. I love Maria.
Yes, I love Maria.
Come up for Sister Wives tomorrow night.
Maybe I will.
But the thing about this is that, like, my mom was, she fell into drugs, and just her life got really, obviously you all know how she ended up, so I don't need to repeat that, but she fell into drugs, and that's why I was taken away. And when I went to my great grandmother's house, my great grandmother took me after she rescued me, I should say, from the bad situation going on at my parents' house. And they took me with nothing. I had no clothes, nothing, zero. And I was living at my great grandmother's senior citizen complex in Elmont. I was living in a place where there were just 65-year-olds and older. As a little kid, 7 years old, my best friends were the elderly. And that's how I learned to play every card game known to fucking man. I could play bridge and bid at age 7. Like bridge, pinochle, canasta, rummy. And I'm grateful for that, because the old ladies, they would play cards all the time. And
you got such an education, John.
I did, and like,
you couldn't pay for that, John.
And like, most kids my age were playing with kids their age, right? And like riding their bikes and whatever. Me, I was betting nickels and dimes on 500 rummy hands at age 7. And that's the God honest truth. But my mom, she was really doing bad, and she wanted to see me, and went to my great grandmother's at the place, and she brought a bag of my stuff, and my because my mom was high when she came, and my great grandmother saw right through it, and she kicked my mom out, and my mom said, "Please, please, please." She ripped this she ripped this bear out of the bag, and she threw it to me because I was begging for my mother not to leave, and she said, "Please, just let him have this. It's his favorite thing." And you know, she threw it to me, and
Oh, that breaks my heart.
this is the last time I saw her. And anyway, this bear means the world to me, and I cannot believe you said Nelly Bly. Like, I cannot believe you went there, and like, you have to find that picture. Please, 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 please.
I'm certainly gonna. My mom's gonna hate you.
I'll go with you. Blame it on me. Blame it on me.
You.
But I would like that. I have that memory in my head of like the stand and the booth, and I would just love to fucking see it with my own eyes again.
Oh my God, the pressure right now, guys.
I know.
The
pressure.
pressure.
You really have to find it for me, please. Because me and Cody and my friend Reagan, we went there a few years back. Maybe like when did we go there with Reagan?
Oh God, that was like what, like 6?
And it might have been 10 years ago, and
maybe 8.
And we went there just to go, and it's still open. And I said, "This is where I got Burr. Like this is like her home, her birthplace."
Never would I have imagined just naming a place.
See what you did?
And now my makeup's all fucked. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Nelly
Thank you for
Bly.
sharing that with us, John. And I think that is people watching that you don't even know need to hear stuff like this. And it's therapeutic for you, my friend.
But like honestly, like this is my mom, and it's the only thing I have that from my mom at all. Like I have nothing else.
John, can I ask you, are you the only child of your mom? From your mom?
No, I have a sister, and if you've been around,
I know I've been there. I know, but I didn't know if she was from your dad or from your mom. Also, that's the only reason I'm asking.
Yeah,
both me and my sister are
okay. Got it.
We're like same parents, except
got it.
My sister, we were, when I was 7.
You don't even have to. I just
I don't want to talk about
anything.
it.
I literally just didn't
I
know
was
if she
separated.
Was from your dad or whatever.
My grandparents took me when I was 7 because I was abused, and my father kept my sister. So
got it.
Like,
got it.
Although
Enough
like
said.
I'm an only child, really.
Enough said.
I grew up alone. My grandparents raised me. My great grandmother raised me, and my grandmother. But I grew up alone. I hadn't lived with a sibling, my sister, since this happened.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I ever lived with my sister.
Yep.
So yeah. And Brooklyn, you need to get that fucking photo. The pressure's on you. I need to see it.
Can I tell you something? So you guys know, like I'm sure you know Wicked, like your kid pictures, right? Like I was the first child and I'm the only girl. So of course it's funny because the first child, there's a shit ton of pictures. The second child, there's like half. The third, there's like 4 pictures in a loose CVS bag, So I know my baby pictures. Like I know all my like 0 to 5 pictures. Like I know I have pictures at Chuck E. Cheese. I could see them. I've looked through that album so many times,
It's okay if the picture's not there. Like honestly,
I'm gonna find it. But so the minute you mentioned it, actually before he said it, I knew what he was gonna say because not that I have a vivid memory like he does, but I knew my picture. I know my picture, So before he was going to say it, that's why I said I know what he's going to say, because I know my picture, me standing there with the overalls. You know what I mean? I never won anything, and I don't have any good story like John. But you know your pictures.
Stories. My story sucks. Like, I don't want anybody to have my fucking story because it's rancid and horrible. Like, no, I
But there's beauty in it too, John. There's beauty in it too.
Back in those days, like when my mom won this for me, like I had no toys. Like I was a little 6-year-old, 7-year-old boy, and I had nothing. I nothing, no toys, nothing. I watched the Care Bears on TV and I love them, and so I had nothing to play with. Like, God, you don't know
The memories. I get it. Listen, I can only imagine, but I will skip my business and find that fucking picture now after this story.
But like, even if you don't go crazy for the picture.
Oh, I will. It's done. I'm gonna go crazy.
It's in her DNA.
Like, she's gonna go crazy,
Nelly Bly, and you were at the same hut.
I was. Yeah. So I almost am positive because I know the age I had those clothes. So I know those pictures. That was like my 4-year-old album, and I would be 4 in like 1986.
And that's when I was there because I would have been 7, and
Okay.
I was taken in 86.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So that adds up.
Oh my God, we might have been there at the same fucking time as
I was
like
pretty
children.
much there like once a month on like a Saturday or a Sunday, because that was all we had. Like years ago they didn't have. We had Reading Rainbow. That the girl would say the names in the mirror. She would never say my name.
Sky, I can fly twice as high.
Hi. We had the Smurfs. Like there was only like Pee Wee Herman. There was like 5 cartoons, and we had no money. So that was like the cheapest thing for my parents to do,
But yeah, like, people probably think it's weird that like I'm a 44-year-old man who
not anymore, not after tonight.
Who loves Care Bears. But
maybe
like,
if you didn't have to explain this ever, but I think after you did tonight, anybody who would ever make a comment like that is a fucking loser.
Well, it is what it is.
Get ready for him to come out.
So now Wicked's going on the Cyclone and to Nelly Bly.
Yes, I'm going on the Cyclone with you, John.
So when we go to my Momity's softball, which is like around the corner from Nelly Bly, we'll make a thing of it. And then let's get like a hotel room like right there, and like we could have fun.
We can do it.
We could go to the aquarium.
The whole Jersey cast of our show can be with us.
And I have some like connections to Jersey, right? So maybe we'll be like on the field, maybe we'll get some jerseys. I don't know.
That would be so much fun.
I cannot fucking believe you right now. I can't.
And once again, because of me, guys, we're 2 hours and 37, and I apologize for that. But
and then we're saying we're gonna start live at 10. Oh my God, that's never gonna work.
Wicked's like, I'm out.
That's never gonna work. Wendy, are you in this area, Wendy? You'll fly there, so you're not in this area. But
guys, I just want you to know, to everyone in the chat, don't ever think I'm not like reading, like responding. I don't get the chat on my phone. I'm getting an laptop so I can see what you guys say, because I hate that I can't see the only time I can see what they say is when it's on top in a super chat, and I hate that I can't see what everybody's saying. So I'm gonna be hooked up soon.
Go on your laptop.
Oh, my husband's gonna hook it up for me.
As soon as our Wi-Fi's in, I'm going to be set. I'll be able to do it from the laptop again.
Yeah.
If you go on a laptop, you get the full screen.
Yeah. That's why I'm
going
to set that up.
Oh my God! I'm like
tomorrow.
I cannot believe you were there. I just, and the booth, and like and the thing is, like my mother won my sister a fucking Care Bear like this friend bear, not cheer, but friend, and. Like we were there, and I looked at my mother. I was like, "Really? You're doing it to my sister who doesn't even like the Care Bears?" And then like, the bitch, and and I begged and I begged and I begged, and We didn't have money, and she's the wheel went, and we finally fucking won. And she's like, John Michael, you won. Pick which one. And obviously, Cheer Bear was always my favorite. Pick Cheer Bear, and
I love it. I love the whole story. I do. I love
but
it.
that's why I'm so like, I came from a fucked up family, and I watched the Care Bears as a kid on TV, and they just made me feel loved, and they've always been my favorite thing. And 44 years later, I'm still a big Care Bear aficionado, and I will
Because it
never.
doesn't matter. I don't think it matters how old we get.
It looks weird. I'm a gay, married, 44-year-old man who's like, loves Care Bears. It kind of sends off weird vibes if you didn't fucking know me.
Michael Jackson, Netherlands vibes.
Let's be honest. Like, come on. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, I know. But, like, for me, it's just a piece of my childhood that made me feel whole when I never fucking did.
Innocent and happy.
Yeah, and I look
If
at the
if you don't have many innocently happy moments, you're gonna grab on to the one that you do.
And that's exactly right. I got beat. I got abused.
Yep.
My childhood was not fun. So my only happy memory of my childhood is the Care Bears.
To me, it makes total sense, my friends. And again, if people knew this story, those things would have never been said, and that's okay. It's your story. You don't have to tell anything you don't want to.
It's just so funny because, like, me and Cody were just talking about this like 2 nights ago. We were talking, and I just told him the same story I just told you now. How my mom she threw me the bear, and it was my favorite. And it was not 2 nights ago. I just said that to Cody, and you said Nelly Bly like that. Did you see my face when you said that? That like
I
went
did,
right
but I
through
just
my
thought it
soul.
was the reason I said to you, I know what you're gonna say, is because I remember that the Care Bear thing, and I know you love Care Bears, but I could never have expected all that,
Yeah.
And they had that. Remember that thing with the water in it? Like you'd go in the ride and had the little boats that went in the circle with the water on the bottom.
And the giant slide. I think the giant slide's still there, actually.
I haven't been there in years, John. I really haven't. It's a big part of my childhood, though.
Yeah. God. What a a wild live this was.
It was. It was therapeutic for me too. We covered all of Jersey for the first time. We got everything. Before we started going off track, we covered all of Jersey, guys. I'm proud of us.
I am too. And I think, and we covered last week's Jersey too, which was
right.
Even more impressive.
That's right.
And I know that we're at the 3-hour mark almost. So there's no after show tonight. So there's that.
We did the after show in the show, guys.
The after shows, and this last hour and a half was the after show. So you got a free preview if you want to become a member. There you go.
I will tell you that I think that everybody comes in your life for a reason, sometimes a season, but I do believe that we cross paths with each other for a reason. How would I have ever met Wicked? She lives in Kentucky. I've never been to Kentucky. I'll probably never go to Kentucky. I think that it's just what it is. We all meet each other for some kind of reason. I love this.
I've never met anybody. Anybody, and I grew up in Long Island after Brooklyn. I've never met anybody who's even been to Nelly Bly, like who even mentioned Nelly Bly.
That's weird.
Well, in Long Island, people don't go to Brooklyn; they go to
But we have a similar situation because we were children in Brooklyn, and then we were Long Island.
The funny thing is, my mom, my mom was so we live in Bensonhurst, and when she was in labor with me, she drove to Franklin General and Franklin Square to have me born in Nassau County.
She was bougie.
She was. She wanted me born. Bougie. She wanted me born in Nassau County in Long Island at Franklin General, and to have me. And then we went back to Brooklyn. So listen, I am born and bred Long Island, but she brought me back to Brooklyn. So I lived in Brooklyn up until I was 7, and then back to Long Island. And you know, it pains me that I'm not on the island anymore. It does hurt me.
I know, but listen to me. You're better off.
But I love where we live. I love where we live now.
That's it. You're better off. Stay where you are.
But you know, hopefully one day, like if I can get back there, like I always want to live in Long Beach. You know, I love Long Beach or Atlantic Beach, which I'll never be able to afford in a million years. Like, you know, you can't go to
it's just too much, John. It's too much.
But you know, New Jersey's fine. Like, you know, Seaside Heights was always like my second home. So I'm kind of in Long Island now. It's how I, like, you know, I process it in my head.
Right.
So, and like, you know, Long Island is like, you know, 2 hours away. So I'm there and I want to get there. I can go and not pay $8 million a month to live there. So
that's it. You have an option.
With all that being said, I'm going to end this live.
Yes.
I want to thank everybody for being here and listening to this Jersey recap and my life recap and whatever. Brooklyn, I need that picture.
My Lanta.
Tell your mom I'll come with you.
I hate me.
And that's it. So tomorrow night.
This was great, guys. I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
As you.
Tomorrow night, we're doing Sister Wives. Wait, I cut you off. What?
I said poor Wicked has to be up early. She's exhausted. I'm sorry.
I'm
Wicked.
sorry.
Okay.
Tomorrow night, Sister Wives, episodes from season 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're having a contest. And then Friday night, we're gonna have a very good an interview. We're gonna uncover some shit. And that's it. So from me to you, thank you for being here. Guys, thank you for the super chats. And I'll see you tomorrow. Brooklyn, do you want to come back on camera and say bye?
Oh, yes. My light went out. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great night.